Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Heroes CCL, presented by Wisdom. My name's Bahamut, joined by Grubby and Justin. And I know Justin is currently struggling to keep a Springy at bay, and so we gotta immediately go for this. Because of your support to Heroes CCL, we have a little treat for Springy.
She's just out of the frame. We're trying to get her. Yeah. Oh, it's so
it's
cute.
A little bit of a bait.
Here, let me. How do I do this? Can
you move your camera?
I can a little bit, but I'm worried I'm gonna mess up positioning it after this with my green screen. Here, let me figure this out. Here, I'm just gonna put the food like way up here and see if she can get it.
While you're doing that, I just
holy
want to say,
tuna. It's so bright.
Ooh.
You can't see it.
It's quite literally, it's holy tuna because you can't see it. Yeah, it's radiating.
Here, give me.
Maybe we.
How do I do this? Give me a second here. Let me.
Yeah, sure. While you're doing that, let me let you all know about the prize pool, because that's how we actually got to this point. It is going to be we hit $10,000 earlier today, and so we decided to do this during we got it organized during the break, and now we're getting to
Let me get it set up here.
All right, so he's going to be taking care of that
up on the Springy cam.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so okay.
She's
there we go. We got
voracious.
Springy.
Oh, it's like the worst camera angle. Look at her go.
Yeah. There we go. It focused in. Thank you, seriously, everyone at home, for donating towards the prize pool. We really, really do appreciate it. We always like to try and give our furry friends some treats and stuff like that. And we've all seen Logan and Bandit quite a bit this season. We haven't seen enough of Springy. So thank you all, seriously, for helping us push to the 10K mark on Heroes CCL. If you'd like to donate further towards this prize pool, this is going to be split to the players as well. You can use !prize pool in chat. But thank you, everyone at home, for donating. Thank you, Justin, for getting Springy on stream for us. I know it's not the easiest when you're trying to get the angle with the camera, but either way, we really do appreciate it. Thank you, everyone at home, and thank you, Justin, as well. But at the bottom of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, you can see that we're getting into another matchup: Diamond Hands versus Chili Mountain. And I believe we can start breaking down who's on what side of the battleground, because on this Diamond Hands side, Grubby, it's a pretty strong roster through and through.
Yeah, they're 3 wins and 3 losses, and they've had many games where when they lost the series, they were up 2-0. Loads of potential on this team. Caesar Salad, new to the CCL this season. He's been impressing a lot. There's also Nintori on the side lane, Valamar's the healer. Super, super solid players, and the double deadly duo of Godfilth and Kelsier have been responsible for many takedowns on the side of Diamond Hands. Again, if they win 3-0, they will actually be ranked 3, kind of coming out of nowhere to potentially be top 3 of the regular season. That would be incredible. And they're against the team where supposedly that should be the most possible. Everyone else 3-0'd them, almost. And I know that's rough, but that's the situation that is on Chili Mountains' record. Yep. They have gotten better, though, so it might be hard.
Yeah, Chili Mountain had a win or 2 here and there. I'm just skimming through really quickly up against Oxygen here and there, as well as there was another one as well. It was the 30K actually. So yeah, Chili Mountain 30K. So a couple of wins there. But we got the Chili Mountain roster here. And Justin, could you break down who we'll see on this side of the map?
Yeah, so we've got Banana H playing the support. Berghalt was their tank player, but in the last week we saw Azrite playing the tank. We've got Make playing the ranged position. Copenhagen will be their offlaner, and Ultralisk is their new flex player. And this team did do a bit of a restructuring lately, and they have looked quite a bit stronger, especially in the last weeks with Azrite on tank. He's actually looked quite good on the role, even though it is a new role for him. Azrite is a player that I respect a lot. I think he's just a really good overall player, just in general. And to see him make that shift into playing tank and doing it quite well for a beginner, especially, just being able to compete with other players who've been playing tank for a long time, really looks good and looks promising, especially if you're not a Diamond Hands fan. Especially promising to see Azrite on Chili Mountain. It's a little bit different roster from what we saw when they were losing at the start of the season.
Honestly, it's going to be interesting to say the least. I wonder what Diamond Hands will bring out when it comes to our first map draft and stuff like that, because there's so many different directions we've seen teams go. Will there be more priority into Probius, Phoenix? It's been quite a shakeup as of late when it gets into what the priority in drafts are. And unfortunately, we only got one kind of like quote-unquote crazy draft, as Dino was saying, Grubby, in the interview for 30K versus Simplicity. We didn't get any sort of like, it wasn't like Vikings versus Probius consistently. There was that Alarak in one map, but going into this, I just want to kind of get your level of expectation, Grubby, for these two teams.
Well, Chili Mountain, like you said, looked a lot better with Azurite on tank, and we may see that coming out again today. If we do, I think it's very exciting. He plays it differently. He was, yeah, I mean, Batman, he looked incredible as a main tank today, but
yeah.
for the most part, Azurite looks pretty good compared to some of the tank play we've seen in CCL, with just a different perspective, basically. And again, there's a lot at stake here. Diamond Hand 3-0, they're rank 3. Win by any other score, they're rank 4. Lose, they're rank 6. So these games matter a lot for Diamond Hands. On the side of Chili Mountain, the cool thing about this league is even when you're bottom 8, bottom 7, bottom 6, you're not out of the league. I've played many esports competitions where only top 2 advances in a 6-team group or a 6-player group. After about 3-4 games, you pretty much know if you've still got a chance. And some of those players just aren't trying anymore, which is
fair.
Super unideal, the antithesis of esports and fair conduct, but they have no incentive. Like, they know they're not going to pass, so they're, as we say in Dutch, they're just playing for bacon and beans, not for the real prize anymore. It's a Dutch proverb. This one's real too.
But bacon and beans is a very, very good reward.
Amazing.
Like if at the end of every CCL broadcast, Jules was like, "Hey, Bahamut, you're gonna get some bacon and beans," I'd be like, "Hell yeah, that's great! I get to do CCL and I get bacon and beans. That sounds delicious."
Wrong example, man. Shoe leather. Let's go with shoe leather.
Shoe leather. Okay, there you go. Shoe leather. Not something that you really want to eat.
Yeah, so you'd just be playing for shoe leather, basically. But the way it works out here is that Chili Mountain still has a chance to compete in the gauntlet. And while they would have to beat literally everyone in order to win the season, it is technically possible. And that is why today is their final chance to get competitive experience in the CCL while being a fair sport, while doing their best. And I think that's valuable because you're not the same lineup that started this season. They've had multiple changes. So this is a great chance to send everyone off into the holidays with a good performance that can inspire for a few weeks to come when the playoffs begin.
Yeah, the playoffs will be coming back in a couple weeks. We do have that Christmas and New Year holiday coming up in the US and pretty much across the world as well. So we will be back in the new year with that gauntlet playoff. And if memory serves me right, Grubby, wasn't it Simplicity in Season 1 who basically was like 7th or something like that, and they climbed all the way from 7th to 1st?
Yes, that is. I believe that is right. I'm checking it now. Well, they were ranked 6 actually, with a 2-5 score. Rank 6, only over Granite and Chili Mountain. Crowd Control was leading, and then Simplicity just went on an absolute tear in the playoffs, winning 3-0, 3-1, 3-1, 3-0, 3-1, 3-1, 4-0. So,
yeah, I was unfortunately on the receiving end of that 4-0 at the end there, so I know all about Simplicity doing that. That's Simplicity is definitely the team that turns it on at the end, and that's what they did in the past. And now they're playing from a good position, which is going to be kind of weird to see because we're used to seeing them kind of have to break through the gauntlet in order to get there. Something with this match with Diamond Hands and Chili Mountain is Diamond Hands is a team that has done a lot of weird prepped drafts, and this is a match that is arguably the most important match of the entire season for them. It decides their placement at the end. So they really want that 3rd place. They really want that 3-0. So I'm really expecting them, with all the time they've had to prepare for this, to have very specialized, unique, just good strategies prepared ahead of time, because they have been one of the teams that has been innovating the most in the draft leading up into just in CCL Season 3. They've been really innovative with their drafts, so I expect no less for this series.
Well, the series is about to get underway. Thank you, everyone at home, for being patient. We are just getting lobby stuff ready to go, and we have our map and our lobby ready for this first map in our second best of 5 of the day. Diamond Hands versus Chili Mountain, and it is going to be Chili Mountain choosing to take us to Sky Temple. But if you're sitting at home wondering how we ended up at Sky Temple, the members of Diamond Hands won the coin flip and opted for first pick priority, banning out Infernal Shrines. We have Chili Mountain banning out the map of Dragonshire. And a really quick stat fact for all of you at home. Both of these teams are winless on this map. Diamond Hands 0-1, Chili Mountain 0-2. But some of those stats are a little, there's a little asterisk next to it because we can't, to be blunt, Chili Mountain stats, they're kind of hard to base much off of, but we'll see what happens here on Sky Temple as we are ready to go, and got to get your thoughts here, Justin, on what we could potentially see from either side coming out in this draft.
Well, straight off off the bat, we see Berghalt. We don't see Banana on the side of Chili Mountain at all. So who is their support player going to be? That's interesting to me. I don't even know who's going to be doing that. So
Azerite?
maybe even more. He'll tank, he'll support. Azerite does it all on Chili Mountain. We'll see. Yeah, that's really interesting to me. So not even sure who's playing what position. Chili Mountain shaking things up again in this final match. And while it may not affect the standings for them, they definitely are still going to be trying super hard just to get good practice in with their new roster, with making all these roster changes. It's impossible to, scrims are great, but it's impossible to simulate this tournament environment for practice. It's very valuable. You can't get that any other way. So they're definitely going to be, especially with this new another roster adjustment, it's definitely going to be really important for them so that they can get some good synergy leading up to the gauntlet.
And as we mentioned, that gauntlet will be in the new year, so there's still a lot of scrim time for both these teams. But you do make a very good point. A live game versus a scrim are two completely different worlds because, well, there's results for one and there's practice for the other. But as we're getting into these first picks, Grubby, any thoughts on the draft so far?
Good bans by Chili Mountain coming out here on Rhaegar and Johanna. And likewise by Diamond Hands. No fault to find there, really. We have Valimar and Diamond Hands going to Lucio. Again, very good pick as well. And while Lucio and Tyrael have some overlap in utility, both of them being able to speed boost your allies, it seems there's no maximum amount of mobility you could possibly want. You saw 30k just now in Battlefield of Eternity, dancing circles around Simplicity with a Lucio and Tyrael. And the funny thing about Lucio is he's good on big maps because he can speed teams across. He's good on Cursed Hollow because there's walls everywhere. He's good on small maps like BOE as well, walls everywhere. Likewise on Sky Temple, he makes everyone an Illidan. That's 5 years ago. Illidan was like the master of chase. You couldn't get away from him if you lost forts, and you're gonna lose forts on Sky. Lucio makes everyone a chase master.
Chase is on with the Lunara, Nubrek, Lucio. I love what Diamond Hands put together so far, Justin.
Yeah, it's really good. They've got a lot of mobility. They've got a Nubarak with the Burrow. They've got Lunara with just being quick and potentially going to the leaping strikes. And you have the Lucio that's going to just enable that even further. So a lot of chase potential, like Grubby touched on. Illidan not really meta anymore, but Sky Temple, you always do lose your outer forts relatively early. You can't really play any... Like, Probius probably wouldn't get picked on this map, because as soon as you lose your forts, which is basically guaranteed, there's nowhere to run. So a lot of chase potential, really aggressive early picks from Diamond Hands. And the Lucio is something that, just immediate Tychus Diablo. Yeah, that's smart. So I do like that. Diablo matches up really well into a Nubarak, just in isolation, and they deny the Tychus from Diamond Hands, so there's no chance to have the Tychus going up into their Diablo. And they have the Brightwing to give the big percent HP healing to Diablo, which he really needs. Brightwing's pretty much the only support that can actually realistically heal Diablo because of his huge health pool, and Blaze to provide the bunker too. It's just, I like what Chili Mountain has so far.
It's a hypercarry Lunar for the side of Diamond Hands here, Grubby. That is aggressive, to say the least.
Yeah, pretty aggressive. We're basically looking at a 3 bruiser draft here for the Diamond Hands, and I think I like that a lot. It's what they showed a bit on Dragonshire before as well. I think it's great on Sky Temple, but it is into a Maiev, which seems like a really cool counterpick. One of the special techs that Ultralisk has been able to bring to the team. She's going to have a much easier job of getting multiple fan resets, and also brings that extra CC that can really help get Diablo really good angles for blow up.
Really good Umbral binds and such to be able to lock down the side of Diamond Hands. But Justin, as we're loading into map number 1 in the second best of 5 of the day, any thoughts on the draft or what we could expect from Sky Temple?
So this composition from Chili Mountain is a really high execution heavy comp. You have a lot of just wombo combo potential with the Blaze, with the Brightwing CC, Diablo, Maiev. This was in our previous series yesterday, our map on Sky Temple, where we had Storm Esports on this map. They banned away the Maiev, which I noted would enable a comp like this, and it's nearly the exact same comp being drafted now for Chili Mountain as Granite drafted in the previous Sky Temple series. So it's a really just strong good strong composition. Especially, I thought that yesterday Storm was going to be able to beat it, and they got completely annihilated, and they didn't even have the Maiev, which really rounds out this comp. And it is Ultralisk on Maiev, who's kind of known for that. So The combo potential in the CC is just really good, especially into all the melees of Diamond Hands. Lunara, not necessarily the best solo ranged hyper carry you could have. I think they're going to be a little bit light on damage, and if they clump too hard to try to dive and play aggressively like their comp wants to do, it'll probably just get hard punished by the Maiev, the Diablo, and the Blaze. So really liking Chili Mountain's draft in game 1.
Alrighty, well, we'll see if Chili Mountain can execute on the side, well, on the right-hand side, because we are loaded on in, and on the left, we have got the members of Diamond Hands. We're going to be looking at Nintori on the Hogger, Caesar Salad on the Anub'arak, Got Filth on the Urel, Kelsier on the Lunara, and Valimar to play the Lucio. Over in the red, Chili Mountain. Copen on the Blaze, Make on the Tychus, Azerite to play Diablo, Ultralisk on the Maiev, and Burgled on the Brightwing. I'm liking the Lunara. I think the Lucio is really strong. There's a lot of really good displacement and control tools in the hands of Diamond Hands with Urel and Hogger, as well as the Anub'arak. But what are your thoughts here, Grubby? As we've loaded on in, and we might have a bit of a skirmish, but still want to get your thoughts on what we could see here for map 1.
It is interesting to see Godfilth on Urel instead of on a range carry, but he is flex player. I think Diamond Hands' draft is a little bit better. Urel will control frontline as much as or better than Maiev will punish frontline that stacks together. In the end, all she brings is damage, and you can split to stop it. The Umbral Bind is big, but Lucio does have high 5 for multiple people. I think Urel in particular is going to be really disruptive against a team like this. But we shall see. I think Diamond Hands has what they need in order to come out ahead here. Bruisers are also great here. Essentially, there's triple Bruiser on the other side as well. So I do feel like it's very Sky Temple draft from both of them. The main concern I see for Chili Mountain is that they've got about the reach to kill 1 or 2 heroes. But it's really hard for a team like this that doesn't have a hyper carry to kill more than 1 or 2. Tychus kills 1. Maiev can maybe secure a second. But all these tools like Polymorph, Minigun, they're pretty much good to kill 1. And when there's that many frontliners on the enemy team, Urel, Hogger, and Anub'arak all wreaking havoc, I think Lunara is going to be largely ignored. So this should be Calcier's playground, really.
I'm really excited actually for the Lunara play. There was some cool tech at the start of the game on from Got Filth with the Avenging Wrath, as you actually see it being utilized right there, but it was just to mitigate some of the Diablo value, because there's Dauntless at level 1, but we have a fight to break out in top lane. Kelsier is going to be the target. Nice bop back from the Lucio, but it doesn't matter because Copen has the flank, and there's going to be a secondary kill. And Tori was busy clearing the wave and didn't even join the engagement till it was too late, and that is going to be a double kill to the side of Chili Mountain. They find First Blood in their favor.
So stupid. Right after I said Lunara is going to get largely ignored. Of course he was going to die. But very nice catch actually by Chili Mountain, set up by Azerite, pushing him into that wall. And the Umbral Bind, and then the flank from Blaze.
I don't know if... Hold on. Ultralisk takes a lot of damage. He's going to get taken down. Diablo uses Nintori as a kind of springboard to be able to back out of this top lane and is able to disengage. I don't know, Grubby, if maybe there was some ritual you performed or maybe it was something I did, but we are caster cursing teams left and right this weekend. I was watching back the VOD from yesterday, and there was at least like 2 or 3 caster curses. Specifically, I had the one on CPX. When I was saying, he's so good, he's doing so well, it was like Curse Hollow, and then he immediately dies. And we kept doing that all day yesterday, so maybe it will continue today. We kind of just had it with that Lunara Lucio, but our first objective phase is up and available. Good read from Hogger. Grubby, can you break down why that was like mechanically really cool of what we saw Nintori just do?
I think he had vision and he could feel the Shadow Charge coming. You cannot actually reactively start Hog Wild for most of the range that Shadow Charge Diablo could come from. Probably you have to prematurely do it in anticipation of, so it requires game knowledge and paying attention. Maybe at max range you can start it on time, but the wind up for Hog Wild means it's going to be tough. So Nintori, nice reaction speed and game reading there. But Maiev getting punished again. Brightwing, 2-second port, does come in. Umbral Bind by Ultralisk, pulls people out of position. It's going to be hard to actually take anyone down. Diamond Hands is healthy. They're standing on both of the temples. And even with everyone alive, Chili Mountain cannot wrest back control of that temple. That feels concerning.
It really does. Typically, the first objective is traded. There's a higher priority into top lane because of the siege camp the bruiser camp that was already pushed in for an initial siege. But here comes a great Vault of the Warden from Ultralist to avoid the burrow charge of Caesar Salad. Azurite doing his best to be able to just buy some time. He does tap well on his way out of this mid lane engagement as the mid lane fort is sitting around some very small HP. That was a blink, it was a phase shift just in time as the fight breaks out once again. Kelsier very low, does go down. Valimar is going to find some auto attacks, but it's Hogger to find the counter kill. Blaze, jet propulsions forward, gets no stun, just kind of says hello to the enemy members.
That was a lot of damage coming out by Maiev. I was wondering if we're going to see him pop off. And we look at the hero damage by Ultralist, 15,500. More than Lunara at 12,000. And it was sick. I would love to see a replay of that. He was getting reset after reset after reset. And I think he could have got away, but he got greedy, wanted more. And they only get a 1-for-1 out of it after an ideal case scenario. Pity there, but still a showcase of what he can do. The question is, will Chili Mountain have enough of a map control here in order to validate all their other experiences? Because they're already 10% minion XP down compared to Diamond Hands.
Goodbye, Burgled. Or maybe not. That's going to be... Nope. Kelsey,
I think he pushed the wrong one, Azurite. He should have pushed Lunara, not Anubarak, who already used all his stuns.
It was actually just that was just good read. And what I really like about Diamond Hands, you were noting the experience deficit between the two teams, but the other thing that I really like is, well, the aggression right here onto Azurite, who should fall to the damage over time. It's that we're seeing so much macro control, and we can talk about this more because, Grubby, we have that highlight that you can break down for everyone at home.
Yeah, look at what Ultralisk is doing here. If you hit 2 people as the replay starts, if you hit 2 people with Fan of Knives, look, he teleports all the way back once he gets the Brightwing. Pop, Fan of Knives, Fan of Knives, Fan of Knives. You have a 1 second cooldown or less on Fan of Knives if you hit 2 people. Otherwise, it's 4 seconds. So every time you see him do that in a row, you know that he's using that crescent moon shape skill shot really well. It was super sick because it looks like he's going away. He's got 5% health. Way back when he teleports back into it with the Brightwing heal, and he got all those results, which was cool. Now, Anubrak in trouble. Polymorph can't burrow charge away. Now he does, and they still catch him.
Containment Disc was thrown onto Caesar Salad. You can tell because there's that kind of chaotic energy flowing around him. Silenced as well, because that is part of Containment Disc. It was buffed. I can't remember how long ago, but it was buffed a while ago, and that was part of it, that when the enemy is out of the Containment Disc, they are silenced for... I actually don't know off the top of my head how long it is. 1.5 seconds. 1.5 seconds is the silence time, which is great for the Anubrak because he can't burrow charge away, he can't cocoon whoever's dealing a lot of damage. As Blaze comes in for the flank, there's going to be a lot of damage onto Lunara, who is going to be using the Leaping Strike to back away as Valimar is the target. He does go down. It's a high 5 Lucio. No Sound Barrier to buy some time. But the aggression of Chili Mountain here, Grubby, is going to find them a bottom lane fort. But while all this is happening, Hogger with the very smart read, Nintori doing exactly what he should be doing, finding value somewhere else, and he's going to get a fort in the top lane, 3rd fort for the side of Diamond Hands. Yeah,
that's why bruisers are so good on this map, because it doesn't matter if you lose one hero somewhere against major resource investment. You just put all your pushers, be they Zagaras, Falstads, Urels, Hoggers, Dahakas, or Blazes, or even Murky, you put them in 1 or 2 other lanes, and you just have these big build-up waves. At the end of the day, you look at the kill count, 4 and 5. Well, it looks pretty even, slight lead for Chili Mountain. But then the fort count, 1.2 forts extra for Diamond Hands, and that, in the end, is the major win condition on any map. Containment Disc, narrow miss. Nice try, though, on Lucio.
It's a 40-second cooldown, so it's a very spammable heroic, and I'm actually curious. Only 50 mana as well, which is extremely low. I think actually some of her abilities actually cost more than that. It's like, yeah, Umbra Bind's 55 mana, Spirit of Vengeance is 50, Fan of Knives is just 30. So it's like it's a very low mana cost and a very low cooldown to try and make some of these plays. I very much like the the Containment Disc pickup here for Ultralisk, and we'll see if they can find more value like they did into the Anubrak. But here's Kelsier reading the advancements of Azurite and the rest, but he actually goes in with some Leaping Strikes. Jet Propulsion from Blaze will not connect, but here comes the big bad burrow charge from Anubrak. Containment Disc on the right, Grubby.
He cancelled phase shift, so Brightwing now is standing against Urel, against Bruiser Camp, without being able to help the team, as Copen both got into bunker as well as Brightwing, trying to proc phase shift. And Brightwing is a global, but she cannot stop a Urel Bruiser Camp push. It takes way too long, so Copen comes back. Brightwing used phase shift on Copen, and Yrel was just killing a wall. I feel like very well understood by Diamond Hands how to get ahead on this map. They're just going to trade temples. They just got top keep wall. They can keep doing the same thing all game long. And most of the members of Chili Mountain cannot perform solo kills on anybody.
That was the conversation at the start of the map, and it's very much feeling that way. But Burgolt is going to be the target. He tries to self-cleanse. It ain't going to work out. Why did this happen? Well, there was a massive rotation onto Gotfilth into top lane, and no kills found. Ardent Defender is still off a cooldown. This is Diamond Hands getting everything they wanted. Cocoon onto Blaze to slow down his retreat, and Umbral Bind.
Why did Ultralisk stay?
Sorry, I said Umbral Bind, but I meant Spirit of Vengeance was thrown out. He didn't teleport. I'm curious, maybe he thought he had the outplay, but you already lost the Brightwing, you already lost the Tychus. I feel like it was just back off and save your death timer.
Yeah, I think so. Same thing about Bunker here. Blaze will not have Bunker for 25 seconds when he comes back. Very unlikely to need it that fast, I suppose. Yeah, they tried to kill Yrel. They sent 3 people to try and kill Yrel under the fort. I think part of it maybe is to try and kill the fort. They didn't quite get it, which is a pity for Chili Mountain here. But Yrel doesn't really die, and when she does, it's not under 10 seconds because of the Absorbent Defender. So that was a big sacrifice. They left Brightwing to solo guard Temple, and that turned out not to be okay. She didn't have a fallback point. Brightwing died. The rest got cleaned up. A tough first game here for Chili Mountain. Good start for Diamond Hands.
Yeah, Boss plus Siege Giants in the bottom lane are looking extremely good as a potential to take down this already weakened keep. I think it's sitting around like 40 to 60%. I actually couldn't see the health bar. It's actually closer to 50. Regardless, Boss is arriving, and Grubby, if things go extremely well for Diamond Hands, they could march to core after this.
In 12 minutes, that's crazy, Baha. Let's see how it pans out here. They're looking at that Diablo flanking and threatening from the left side. Put your back against the wall at your own risk, because he will try to get a shadow charge there. Ultralisk throws forward the Avatar of Vengeance, but doesn't have the reach to catch anybody, nor would maybe they have wanted to. Chili Mountain still has their level 16 just coming out. And as Chili Mountain needs to try and figure out how to get back on the map, we do have a replay here of that fight earlier on in that middle lane. You see that Burgold is left behind here on the temple. Caesar Salad knows that she's being left alone. She tries to use the cleanse, doesn't work out. Like, all of them just left her. They thought, yeah, we're trading 1 for 1. Let's try to make use of our range advantage. Like, the fact that we're closer to top lane than whoever's down there, and God knows where everyone else is, we've got a 3v1, 4v1. Maybe Brightwing intended to port soon after the allies, but they didn't know that they had already been scouted, that they were seen leaving that point. So just full information, 0% luck. Diamond Hands had the info, Chili Mountain did not.
And while we were looking at that replay, you didn't miss out on much at all, actually, because we're having the engagement pop off just now. There was a camp invade from the side of Chili Mountain. Brightwing is showing on the minimap in the bottom lane. Containment disc onto Yrel. Jet propulsion from Blaze a little too early, a little miscommunication. Silence on Yrel. It's only 1.5 seconds, she's able to back away. And did Brightwing go for a Hush? Yeah, they actually did. I was wondering where that silence came from, the level 16. But here's another bounce from Hogger. He's kind of on the far side of the engagement. He's actually in a very good spot. Bunker down from Blaze. A very low got Filth. Tries to back up. Ardent Defender on an 80-second cooldown. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, Siege Giants have arrived to core. They will start to just push in a little bit here. I don't think we're going to see any sort of damage to core outside of some scratching on the shielding.
Yeah, a bit of shielding down, no problem. Ultralisk gets there on time, but now we're in that late phase of the game. 12 minutes have been survived, but level 20 is looming over Chili Mountain. And another temple comes out here. That's going to be mid-keep when uncontested. This also happens to be the only lost timing left where you can force a fight against a team that wants to defend a point. After this temple is gone and exhausted, Diamond Hands just pulls back, waits for 20. And in fact, smart decision. It's the only real window that you could possibly give Chili Mountain to get a fair comeback fight, and now they won't even get that.
Diamond Hands, they don't need to. Yes, you're sacrificing some shots onto your mid lane fort. You might be sacrificing your fort in general, but I think this is the smarter call. I absolutely agree. There's still 3 keeps up and available. You might get some scratching on the keep front gate, but now Diamond Hands, they can walk up the wave, they can put pressure onto the mid lane keep and potentially take this down for another win condition. Granted, I do want to note, on Sky Temple, there are no camps that go mid lane. Typically, top and bottom are your better options, bottom being the heaviest priority with boss plus double siege giants, but either way, mid lane fort will fall, and a few extra shots.
Oh, Cocoon! Cocoon on right wing!
That's bad.
I mean, not if you're Diamond Hands. They saw her porting away.
Absolutely, yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah. She gets the blink heal to a minion, but the double leaping strike is going to allow Brightwing to dip, dive, and dodge around. Meanwhile, yeah, Yrel goes down on the top of our map, but it took 4 members to do so. It took 4 people to kill 1, and Yrel actually holds out in Defender. She doesn't use it. It's a 2-minute cooldown with a 1-minute death timer, and I think Yrel is like, I can take this sacrifice. It's 6-9 in kills, leading on the side of Diamond Hands.
Yeah, exactly that, and Mephisto's level 20 global ult are the 2 you don't want to waste when you're dying anyway. Both a 2-minute cooldown.
Yeah, Consume Soul, a very, very valued heroic, as we saw yesterday, but some bounces coming out from Hogger. Actually, it's just a bounce to get him behind Azerite, who was using the Molten Flame.
Whoa.
Anubrak will go down. Great Umbral Bind. Tyke is shredding through with the Commandeer Odin. It's Hogger to go down. The first time the members of Diamond Hands have been punished in any way, shape, or form. But part of me, Grubby, feels like, I know it was a 4v4, but I feel like Yrel is a huge factor with the Templar's Verdict at level 16 for the 20 armor reduction when you hit someone with a Righteous Hammer. And in a grouped up situation like that, it would have been a lot of armor reduction. But great play from Chili Mountain. Don't want to distract from the fact that they did just find a triple kill in totality.
And Azerite stood there with his spell shield, with his 100 souls, with some flames still reducing enemy movement speed and ability power, turning on the lightning breath, standing impervious on the point. Diamond Hands, if they end up losing this game, they'll have thrown for a bruiser can. Now, they are still ahead, despite everything. Despite the boss marching, despite having no map control, a little bit less vision than they once had, despite being only 3v5. Structurally, they're still in a great spot. They just assassinated the mid keep. 3 against 1 in keeps. But this is where Chili Mountain tries to make their stand. With control of both of the temples and the boss, they're actually starting to hurt all 3 keeps at the same time. It's very realistic that we get to a spot where Diamond Hands has 3 half keeps though, because of the way it's being spread out, which is unfortunate. They also have a choice which one to attack into together. Luckily for Chili Mountain though, Chili Mountain has vision of the top lane, so it becomes really obvious where Diamond Hands could possibly go. It's mid. And Azerite is already waiting there. In fact, they're bringing in Copen. Now, that's obvious. Copen is leaving. They know it's going to be 5-on-5. Yrel still has that Absorbent Defender that she didn't waste on the fight.
Oh, that was a very low Yrel. She does pop the Ardent Defender. A 2-minute cooldown right there. Containment Disc was used and didn't connect. We have Blaze taking a bit of damage from Anubrak, but Kelsier's not anywhere nearby, and Valamar's a little far away as well, so it is going to be a bit of a back off from Diamond Hands. They could look for this top lane temple, which would yield shots on the top lane keep. There's a camp coming through, Brightwing with a little blink, but that's because they want the invisible friends. It was nerfed, though, in our most recent patch, where it's not permanent stealth until you take damage or reveal yourself. It's a 9-second invisibility. After 9 seconds, you are going to be revealed again. Now, the shots, a couple from the Yrel, Diablo using Shadow Charge to get closer to his team, kind of closing that gap as he was in the flank position a little too far forward. But the objective phase, I think, is going to be yielded to the side of Chili Mountain.
Yeah, there was about, let's see, there was about 13 shots left. How much are they doing per shot? I'm looking at it. 14,000 takes 1 laser, 700. So 14 times 700. It would have done 9,800 damage. It would not have killed the keep, the final shots. That belongs to Chili Mountain, but it would have put it on 10% of the health that it currently has. AKA, like, I don't know, like 6% health left. It was really good for Chili Mountain to take a stand there. And it was good for Diamond Hands to also give it up, as they weren't looking to lose any keeps off of that. So, do you take a 50-50 fight when the map is in your favor 70-30? Generally, you just don't. Unless you have, like, a lot of courage, just want to try it. But, like, statistically, it was illogical for Diamond Hands to fight there. No Absorbent Defender on Yrel. Much better odds on the map if things are played out automatically and passively. So love Diamond Hands going back there, and love Chili Mountain stepping up. They both did the right play.
We're going to see a double ultra phase coming up next for our objective on Sky Temple, top and mid once again. Now, mid shots won't fire right to the core. They will fire onto the prioritized keep on the side of Chili Mountain. But for the side of Chili Mountain, if they channel top, that fires into top lane keep. Mid will fire into mid keep. And then after that gets taken down, I believe it goes to top and then to bottom, because I believe it has to do with proximity towards the temples where your structures are. But either way, we are closing in on these kills. It's 9 to 8 in kill, 22 up, and 22 up on both sides. And this is looking like a very strong start for both teams, actually. Like it was very good for Diamond Hands. And I should rephrase. The game is looking good for both teams. The start was really good for Diamond Hands. The latter half is looking better for Chili Mountain is the better way I should phrase that.
Yeah, and I really didn't think they had it in them afterwards, but Azerite on tank has been looking great. Pretty hard to kill, actually, for the team of Diamond Hands, which makes sense, because Diamond Hands doesn't have any giant killer. They just have, well, Headbanger for Hogger, 8% max health, but they don't have a Tychus, Zul'jin that's fully stacked, anything like that. So Diablo is a problem. They're going to try to ignore him. But then there's also Bunker. There's Brightwing with Polymorph. Tychus would be their main target, but he gets armor and cleanse from himself when he goes Odin. And now suddenly Chili Mountain is quite strong. They've scaled enough that they're hard to take down.
Little leaping strike from Kelsier. He did go for the upgrade to level 20, but here is the initiation to Caesar Salad, who backs away. Righteous Hammer is going to be mitigated. There's going to be a containment disc on.
Is she still stunned when she comes out? Because she got stunned when she went in. Yeah, still stunned when she comes out. That's interesting.
Got a high five from Lucio right at the end of that, but the shots are raining out in favor for the side of Chili Mountain in the bottom lane. Caesar Salad at 50% has to burrow charge away. Lightning Breath from Diablo. He went into the Hellgate, so no Hellstorm from the Diablo for the increased duration by 200% on Lightning Breath. But the shots are raining out, and this is a lot of damage onto core because there's a massive camp and catapults. But here's the thing. We take stock of the Diamond Hands core, but look at the side of Chili Mountain. There's a couple catapults arriving in the bottom lane as well. And these catapults, they're dealing 754 damage. It is a little bit of a, wait.
It's just ending.
Chili Mountain's winning. Yeah, Chili Mountain. No one's on top lane except for Blaze. This is going to be a very Wait, hold on. If Hogger gets on the point, it does stall out.
No.
All right.
No. GG. Wow. Diablo was completely unkillable.
Wow.
Diamonds, they suddenly went back for a Bruiser Camp and a Catapult. They lost both of their keeps. They kind of played it slow. There was a lot of zoning being done by Azerite on Diablo, though. Like, didn't fully recognize how unkillable he was going to be for this draft. Against solo damage Lunara, essentially. Not too much clumping possible on top of Diablo because of Maiev and Blaze. Interesting. It feels like a weird game. Maybe we did a bad job like calling exactly what could happen when it goes late game or in general. It just looks like such a wipe early on, like disjointed, Diamond Hands taking kills and so on, but suddenly it just flipped. We became aware of the status quo, and then you get this weird Sky Temple-esque finish. And what this means is that Wildheart is now guaranteed rank 3. They have just secured their way into the playoffs because Chili Mountain took one map. So congrats Wildheart to go rank 3, and it also means that Wildheart will be facing Simplicity in the first round of the playoffs.
I can already hear Goon cheering. I can like in the back of my mind, I already hear him cheering, gusting. Yeah, gusting. That's a great one. But either way, Justin, could you break down where things shifted to Chili Mountain? Because there had to have been kind of like a hard point where the pressure swapped from Diamond Hands to Chili Mountain into Diamond Hands.
Yeah, there definitely was. So through the early game, Diamond Hands mostly just in control due to their macro advantage. This is something that I touched on in the draft, is in a straight 5v5, Chili Mountain's comp should be just unstoppable. But they do kind of lack the macro that Diamond Hands has. They have two just offlaners in the Hogger and the Urel who can just constantly put split pressure on the map. And in the early game, Diamond Hands played around that very well. They didn't opt in to take too many fights without macro advantages on the other side of the map. Diamond Hands ended up invading Chili Mountain's Siege Giants twice and just getting them for free just due to good macro. And they had a huge structure advantage up until one fatal point. We saw Brightwing on bottom point and Urel top, and they both traded kills for both teams. It was a 1-for-1. But what happened after that was where Diamond Hands lost control of the game. They overextend on a fight on a 4v4 to fight for the enemy knights. They threw this game for the Knight Camp. The Knight Camp lost them the game. When they 4-man, that type of tight corridor choke is exactly where Chili Mountain thrives. This composition loves to fight in a place like that. This is basically an Infernal Shrines comp from Chili Mountain, and they fought on that night point. Even Ultralisk got chunked out at the start of the fight, but he was even able to go tap, because his tap is right there top by his top keep, come back to the fight and finish the fight, and they get the 2-for-0 there. But not only was it just obviously bad to lose that fight, but it was the worst possible time to fight, because the boss spawned as soon as they were done dying on the knights. The boss spawned for Chili Mountain, and that was where Chili Mountain was able to come back in the game. They get the boss out bottom, they get on double shots, and then even after that, Diamond Hands still had a huge structure advantage. They really just stopped playing the macro game. They kept trying to fight 5 versus 5. There were 2 times where it was a double altar phase, where they could easily split up the members of Chili Mountain, because they have these solo lane, off lane heroes that can just bully people in a 1v1 or a 2v1, and they didn't do that. They just kept trying to 5v5 Chili Mountain. So I would say overall a huge macro blunder from Diamond Hands in the second half of that game, failing on the knights, and then just trying to take these 5v5s against an insane team fight composition from Chili Mountain. So well played by Chili Mountain to be able to bring it back, because they were in a near unwinnable position in that game, it felt like, if it were not for that one mistake invading the Knights by Diamond Hands. So really well played by Chili Mountain, though, overall, to come back.
Definite comeback potential here, it was definitely comeback potential in that last map, but we are getting into our second map in this second best of 5. We can tell you where we're going to be heading off to, because it is going to be the map choice of Chili Mountain, as Diamond Hands once again opting in for first pick priority, and Chili Mountain will choose to take us to Volskaya Foundry. Some map stats as always. Diamond Hands, they are 1-0 on this map, and the members of Chili Mountain are 1-1, 50% win rate for the Chili Mountain crew. But as we dive into this draft here, Grubby, I have to get your immediate thoughts on this Volskaya Foundry matchup. Are you ready for a 30-minute map?
Always, you know it. As long as I got YouTube by my side, I'm always ready for it.
Well, unfortunately, Grubby, I hope production told you, because it's Volskaya Foundry, there's a new CCL rule. Justin and I have to leave you, and you have to solo cast the entire thing. So
my voice
have
isn't
fun.
ready for this.
But either way, now, Grubby, I gotta get your thoughts. After seeing that Sky Temple map, what are your thoughts for these teams going into Volskaya Foundry?
Yeah, I think that was a bit problematic for Diamond Hands the way they finished it. Like Justin said, they could have had one bruiser on core, because they had 2 catapults on core that just shot at like little minion waves and then got counter-fired by enemy catapult spawns. Generally, you threaten core with 2, you put 2 bruisers on the other 2 temples, and you give the opponent a point of no valid option taking usually. And yeah, that's where it went wrong then. And it just kind of snuck up on them. I think it was just too easy for them the early game, that they underestimated Chili Mountain and thought that they can just it looked just like pure overconfidence. So in this game, I think their mind has been set aright. They've had a few minutes to think about it, mull it over, and while they have gotten their potential rank 3 irreversibly taken away from them, that option, keep in mind that if they win by any score at all, Diamond Hands will still be rank 4. It means they only need a single gauntlet bonk, and then they're top 4 in actuality, and at worst they're top 5. If they lose this series, they're rank 6 in the gauntlet, and they could be 7th place, 6th place, 5th place, anything. So they will improve their score by a minimum of 2 ranks in terms of the eventual standings if they win this series, guaranteed. And they're much closer to the prize. So 100% worth for Diamond Hands to win this series despite this early setback.
Really strong start when it comes to percent-based damage, Justin, with the Leoric and the Tychus. Got to get your thoughts on even just the couple picks we're going to see from Diamond Hands in a second or two here, too.
Yeah, I'm not expecting to see a Diablo picked up on the side of Diamond Hands with the first 2 picks coming out from Chili Mountain. That's a lot of percent damage right away. The Medivh. So this is something that Diamond Hands played on this map. This was the first quick game of Volskaya that the world's ever seen before. We got Diamond Hands previously on this map with the Nazebo Medivh cheese with the Stukov, so they kind of have the makings of that right now. Also, Medivh, just a really good counter into Tychus. It's also good into Leoric. Leoric gets kited pretty bad by the portals. He's unable to, keep that drain attached. And Tychus especially does not like playing against Medivh at all. As soon as the Odin comes out, your whole team can just portal away. The minigun is completely negated by the Protect from Medivh. You'll end up healing the opponents if you use it, so it's a good pickup on the Medivh here. Diamond Hands, no more messing around for them, it seems, in this game too, after losing that last one.
Now, you mentioned no Diablo. Typically, when we look at a Medivh, it's like, oh, Leyline Seal into Apocalypse. Is there some other combo? Maybe is this like a Gorge composition potentially from Diamond Hands?
It could be, depending on how much they need wave clear. If it were me drafting, I would probably be looking at a delicious Zool main tank here. Because you are into double percent damage. You have no HP on Zool, so you don't care that they draft percent damage. You also have the level 1 option to go with the Shade, which makes you unable to be auto-attacked. You have evasion on level 1 as well. And they don't even have the option to go Diablo, as Chili Mountain does pick that up for themselves. They do have a lot of Wombo combo right now for Chili Mountain, but again, if the Medivh is played well, he kind of just completely shuts down any kind of combo play like this. So depending what their last picks are for Diamond Hands, I'd be a little bit worried if they maybe don't have enough wave clear or don't have enough sort of just engage in general. So we'll see if they go with the traditional tank. Stitches is likely. There's the Zool. Nice. Let's go Diamond Hands.
Right.
I like this comp.
There you go. All right, well, Grubby, I have to get your I see you smiling in excitement. Any thoughts on what we're seeing so far?
No, it's just cool because I didn't expect them to go by the Justin playbook at all. It did look good once it was put out there. Would have never thought about it myself, despite having seen it from Justin before when he was on Wildheart. But it is a very short-range team from Chili Mountain. Tychus is short range, except when he's in Odin. 3 melee and Lucio is right up there. That's a lot of attack speed debuff, and for all the other reasons he mentioned. And then to top it off with the essential Nazeebo pick on Volskaya.
Oh yeah.
Just go level 20, just farm 20. I like it.
Just get to level 20, Justin, but I feel like there's more factors than that. So could you break down potentially who could take Volskaya Foundry as we are loading on into map number 2?
So I'm going to be a little bit biased towards Diamond Hands comp because this is something that I have had a lot of success with, this exact comp. They have basically every single perfect part for this. They've got the Medivh comp with the Stukov, which is the best support with it. You have the Zool, which is the ideal non-tank tank, especially into all these percent damage heroes like Tychus and Leoric on the other side. You have the Nazeebo, which is a really good solo ranged with it as well. It has a lot of wave clear. It scales really well into the late game, and it has good single target now as well with the spider build being buffed. So the one thing, though, that is going to be different this game from Diamond Hand's previous game on this map with a similar draft is there is a cleanse on the other side, on the side of Chili Mountain, with that Lucio having the high 5 on a low cooldown. Normally, if you have Zool, last time we saw this, they didn't have any cleanse. They had an Oriole, that was what they were against. And so anytime any CC went down onto one target, the zombie wall came out and they were just dead, and there was nothing they could do about it. The Stukov puddled the zombie wall. This time they do have a cleanse, but I'm not sure how that interaction even works with Lucio jumping into a zombie wall. And yeah, I love Diamond Hands as an S tier comp for Medivh comp, so I love Diamond Hands comp here. It's great.
Alrighty, well, we'll see if they execute to Justin's expectations on the side of Diamond Hands, because we are loaded on in, and we are here to go. We are here ready to go into Volskaya Foundry with Diamond Hands in the blue, Valimar and the Stukov, got Filth on the Medivh. Kelsier to play Nazeebo, Ventorio on the Blaze, and Caesar Salad to play the Zool. Over in the red, we're looking at Chili Mountain, Make on the Tychus, Ultralisk on the Maiev, Azerite on the Diablo, Burgult on the Lucio, and Copen on the Leoric. It's hard for me to vote against a Medivh. The members of Chili Mountain looked extremely good in the late game on Sky Temple, and I feel like they definitely can explode again into Diamond Hands with kills and huge Umbral Binds and Containment Discs. As I said, though, Grubby, it's hard for me to vote against a Medivh as well as main tank Zool, which is always kind of fun. But what do you think about these drafts as we have a bit of an engagement? And maybe I'm going to hold you on your thought, because that's a wonderful zombie wall. Ultralisk lives with some 90 or 190 HP or something even less than that. Azerite almost goes down, but the spiders are not going to be able to connect as the jar fell a little too shy. But, Grubby, let me get your thoughts on either that fight, the matchup, the draft, the map, whatever you want to talk about, Grubby. Yeah, we can talk about, your favorite shoes.
Crocs. Socks and Crocs. It's a fashion
statement. You're doing this to
statement.
hurt people. You're doing this to hurt people, aren't you?
I am. You know me too well, Baha. We've been doing this too long. But this is Diamond Hands' only map victory against 30k 2 weeks ago. Zool, Nazeebo, Medivh, Stukov, Rexar instead of Blaze. Basically the same strat. And they popped off against 30k. It was an Ariel draft for 30k. Now it's Lucio, and think it's relevant pointing out whether high five can work through Zombie Wall and into Stukov Puddle. It doesn't work into Stukov Puddle at all. If you just step your toes into the Stukov Puddle, your high five will go on cooldown, will not proc on you or your target. In terms of Zombie Wall, if there's no puddle, but it's almost always going to be comboed that way, but if there is no puddle, you can kind of high five over the Zombie Wall if they're not too much to the center. So overall, it's going to be tough for Lucio into Stukov, which is why I think it's an important part of this draft. Replace Stukov with Karazin wouldn't work the same way. It's the Stukov Zombie Wall that's so good about it, not to mention what Medivh brings. So I think, obviously, it's a well-practiced strategy. It worked so well last time. I think it should work here. Should work well here as well.
We'll see how it all shapes out. Fun little stat, actually. You had mentioned Rexar. On the note of, teams and players that have lossless games on Heroes, Rexar for the side of Diamond Hands is a 5-0 hero, 100% win rate. 3 wins on Dragonshire, which makes sense because Diamond Hands has been dominant on Dragonshire. And one of the wins is actually on Volskaya Foundry as well. So either way, I do like the innovation of the Zool, the Nazebo, all that good stuff with the kind of the DIY Entomb per se. Like, you have Kelsier throw the Zombie Wall, then you have the Lurking Arm from Stukov with the low blow value as well, so you could see some chunking coming out from that from Valimar. But Control Point A is up and available. We can continue to talk about how these engagements will go, or maybe even our expectations. The last thing I want to note here, we've got a lot of questing talents, but the biggest thing is Things of the Deep for Nazebo is going to be spell power increased, 5% per 50 stacks. It caps at 100, so 10%. And he's already at 53 stacks in 3 minutes and 23 seconds. Like, that's pretty good double soak rotation for a Nazebo. Almost getting, I would say, every single minion from every single wave, proccing his Things of the Deep as well as the Voodoo Ritual.
Yeah, it's a really good result, and he's got that bonus range as well to make sure that he can follow up. First Blood will go to Chili Mountain. They managed to tether Blaze. He doesn't do well when he's surrounded. So will be taken out. Nice pickup there by Chili Mountain. Again, very low emphasis by the teams on the objective. First 2 don't really matter too much.
What are your thoughts on the Blaze level 1? Because as he's getting caught out, and he can get caught out by Slows of Lucio, Umbral Binds, why not just take the level 1, the new habits, and you get 15 regeneration globes and you have a self-cleanse? Granted, it's like 80 seconds, but you get cooldown reduction on that Pyromania by picking up globes for quite a bit. It's like 15 to 20 seconds off of that baseline ability.
Yeah, I agree with you. I get what he's doing. Like, he is part of the war machine of Diamond Hands, the plan to just get to level 20. So he wants to clear waves faster, clear camps faster, and he's the off lane.
Okay.
It's part of the plan, so he's really choosing strategy over personal utility and survivability. That may come back to bite if he gets picked off more often in this manner, because you can't clear waves when you're dead. And I think even despite the strategy, it would be better to go with that Unstoppable, just a bit safer. But you can see how he's doing a little bit more damage on the Immortal here.
Punisher is going to be in bottom lane. Trigla Protector, excuse me, pushing in quite a bit. Caesar Salad, he's almost saved by Valimar. Actually, he might be saved by Valimar. Yes, he is the healing pathogen coming out just in time. No reactive Ballista Spores, but still there's good healing out in time from Valimar. And we actually have a trait build Zool, which is going to be really good for single target deletion with the Nazebo as well. You pop the Bone Prison on someone. You've got the Jailers, which is once you finish out the 80 Skeletal Warrior summons, you now have, while fixating on an enemy, Skeletal Warriors gain 25% movement and attack speed. And then you've got some other talents that can go into that as well. But I think the scaling on the single target deletion is going to be very, very big. And we'll see how this actually kind of plays into the hands of Diamond Hands, or if it can even do so, because 10 talent here and a solid level lead is over to the side of Chili Mountain.
No one took the healing token.
Oh, it's a bait. It's a great bait because it shows on the minimap. It is. I think it is. I honestly think it was a purposeful bait, because if you leave a token or an item on the map, both teams can see that it's just sitting there. And so Diamond Hands were like, what did they do? Let's go investigate. And they didn't have 10s either. At least that was the read I got from it. It kind of felt like a little bit of, ooh, come try and steal it, but we've got 10s to turn onto you.
Of course, all the heroes that were near for Chili Mountain had no inventory space, so they really sold that bait well.
Yeah, so good to me. I was completely sold on it, but either way, the fight breaks out in top. Caesar Salad's the target, and as Justin had mentioned, He's got a lot of good utility. He also did go that Shade at level 1. While Bone Armor is active, Zool evades all basic attacks, but increases the cooldown of Bone Armor by 10 seconds. And for anyone wondering, it is a 30-second cooldown for that Bone Armor.
It's longer when you take this one, sadly. It goes to 40. That's the downside of it.
Oh, I thought the tooltip updated automatically for me. Oh,
Not this one.
Dang it.
Damn it, Blizzard.
Yeah, I know. That's where I was like, I'll put faith into the tooltip. Dang it. Just immediate unfortunate. But either way, still Chili Mountain, I don't want to take away from what they've done so far. They've got a solid level lead. They're about to be a talent tier over the enemy side. Triglav Protector B is not far off from being announced. I believe it's a 2-minute 30 cooldown from when the Triglav goes down to when we have the next announcement. And then there's 30 seconds for that actual, point to open up. But still, really good macro overall. And some decent micro moments as well for some saves, some team fights, and overall rotations too.
I think we're also getting ready for that Nazebo 20. I wonder if he'll go Vile Infection or if he'll take the Annihilating Spirit again with the healing debuff.
Yep.
I'm not sure what's better actually into Lucio. Not really the biggest of heals. So it might just be Vile Infection, the one they didn't end up going for before. But many levels to pass before that. Caesar Salad gets attacked again. Big save there. That's kind of how you want to play into Medivh. You gotta focus someone anyway, even knowing Force of Will be a thing, and then you start focusing a second person when it is on cooldown. Not too big of a window though, especially once level 13 Medivh comes out, but that's how you've got to play it.
Good stacking for Nazebo as well, as he's already finished out Things of the Deep, so he has that 10% spell power increase, 127 stacks right now. Medivh does finish out his baseline during that last engagement. Diablo has full souls. Tychus at 0 stacks on his Master Assassin, but don't forget about the baseline value of the increased Tychus's attack speed by 10%. Lucio doesn't have Subwoofer finished out, but does that give you any sort of passive? No, you have to finish it out to get any sort of reward.
Yeah, exactly. No, actually, there is a passive. Enemies within the first half of Soundwave range are knocked back 75% further.
So we do get a little bit of value from that, but the value is in the team fight right now. Lurking Arm onto Diablo, little Umbro Bind, Containment disconnects onto the Zool. Ultralisk going for the flank positioning to get some Fan of Knives resets. Gets 2, gets 3, gets 4, 5. Oh my god, Valimar getting chunked to like 25%.
Yeah.
Good Umbro Bind to pull in Kelsier.
Really good damage there by Ultralisk. Meantime, Leoric is pushing hard. They've made this a 5 versus 4 Diamond Hands. They're looking to get results. If they don't, they are losing out in the bottom lane. Copen with 4 minions and a catapult is shooting towers. Kind of makes sense now why Blaze has that PvE damage that he has from Adrenaline Stimpak. He comes in and be able to deal with this quicker, but that was absolutely an investment that didn't pay off. And Chili Mountain is doing to them what Diamond Hands did to them before. They're playing the map. They got a dude in the opposite lane every time during an objective.
And since Blaze is dealing with bottom, Leoric's making the big rotation, and Tomb is up and available. He's going to be looking for a massive target, but unfortunately that is going to be slowed down by the big leyline seal. Huge zombie wall with the Lurking Arm. 1-2 double kill to the side of Diamond Hands, but Valimar equalizes a little bit. Ultralisk equalizes a little bit into Valimar and gets the kill into the Stukov. We have a very low Caesar Salad on the left-hand side of our screen, but here is a very low Ultralisk who gets a Fan of Knives, another Fan of Knives. He goes down. Blaze with the Jet Propulsion coming in. Diablo back in the mix. He did lose his souls. That's why he was able to respawn so much faster than the rest, but this is the first time in this map, I feel, that Diamond Hands had an advantage over the enemy side. The Entomb combo didn't work out.
Nice try, though. Nice try. I thought there was going to be a little bit more range there on that Shadow Charge, supposedly. But this time it was Chili Mountain that pulled their 5 together to do a 5v4 when Blaze was gone. Cool idea, but they got massively comboed by Stukov and Nazebo with that Ravenous Puddle Zombie Wall. Really cool combo. Even good enough to kill 100 HP, 100 souls Diablo, which is just sick. Diamond has won the 4v5 on equal levels hard and gets all the spoils of war off of it.
Looking at just Nazebo stacking, I was like, man, how did he get to 172? Partially, he does get a few extra stacks when from the level 4, but let's actually hold that thought because another fight breaks out onto Caesar Salad. Chili Mountain wants this Caesar Salad kill so bad, they pop the Containment Disc overtime on the objective. Here comes the Apocalypse, timed very well with the Containment Disc. Protection from the Medivh. Valimar getting a little bit low. Leorc is trying his best. Oh my god, the short
Nice
distance
job.
Wraithwalk. That was such a cool tech from Leorc to avoid the flailing. Soip still gets the kill onto the Stukov. There was a kill onto Tychus. And the objective phase now regained onto the side of Chili Mountain. Diamond Hands want to re-engage onto this fight.
That's really nicely done by Copen getting that kill. It goes on 4-on-4. There's a bunker. Caesar Salad wondering if it's wise to get back in there. Just casting a scythe there. And that's about it. Turret and bunker. 2 turrets and bunker were shooting. It's too much damage here for now for Chili Mountain. I'm looking at Diablo. He does not have Fountain Tap available. Ultralisk throws the Spirit. Unable to go in there.
Doesn't go in either. It doesn't have any sort of sudden vengeance for percent-based damage, so it's not worth it. And I'm looking at the Zool. Is his mortal? I don't know if it's Mortal Strike.
Level 20.
Is it 20? I was wondering if it was 20 or 16. I couldn't remember off the top of my head because that synergizes
20.
super well with Echoes of Death.
Yep, exactly, and that's probably why he got it. Level 13 talents for Zool, I think, are pretty much, for the most part, so-so. This one, usually Mortal Wound. Oh my god, that's a big ley line.
Big ley line, big follow-up afterwards. Leorc tries to Wraithwalk away, but he does go down. Diablo, in an awkward spot, has to walk through the Stukov lurking arm, and Lucio does what Justin was talking about. Or maybe it was actually you. Puts just a singular rollerblade into the puddle, and the high five is completely mitigated. But now Azerite on the far side of this engagement. Triglav Protector being...
Nice jump there around the corner. I don't know how the dynamics of that work.
It's like the Varian or the Cassia charge, like Fend and charge from Varian and Cassia, where you're like, oh, I'm over here now.
But for a big mech like that, there should be more inertia to be able to do something like that. But okay, cool, works out. Nice double kill there for Diamond Hands. It was actually really cool what happened to Nazebo there. Nazebo tried to get into Protector. Chili Mountain interrupted him with a grenade and more. Maybe Lucio. Then he ice blocked, and the Medivh Force of Will came, and that allowed him to survive. Get into Protector, even as the other person got out of the Protector to help in the team fight. Was some cool juggling by Diamond Hands, and it sees them an advantage here in the levels. Most of all, they're happy to survive till level 20 as well. They have that level 20 strength, but they're still down on structures. Now let's look at that really cool fight once again, Baha, as you can say what happened there.
Let's see what is going to be happening in this engagement. And there's a great entomb, but the ley line stops 3 people. And then look at Valimar on the bottom of the screen, that beautiful lurking arm as Leorc tries to Wraithwalk away. And now Diablo's on an island by himself. You see Burgult try and go for the high five, but Nintori answers with a wonderful jet propulsion. Really well kind of dissected, I guess is the way to put this, from the side of Diamond Hands into Chili Mountain. And now, here you go, there's that Triglav Protector rounding the corner with a big ol' slap onto Diablo. And when we come back to the real world, Open will be getting ganked in bottom lane, but it's nothing crazy that we missed. I mean, it's just a big collapse onto the Leorc, who was trying to do the Make thing, or the Mene thing, a different M character. Because Mene's done this
side push.
Oh wait, hold on, that's Medivh cheats, Grubby.
That's a puddle, that's a zombie wall, that's a Ravenous Spirit with minus 100% anti-healing. They're using the Annihilating Spirit together with the Mortal Wound to do basically minus 125% heal, which is funny because it means someone will not receive healing even if they had plus 25% healing. Just in case. If that was Stitches, he would still not get any healing whatsoever, even with that level 1 talent. So absolutely sick combo there, combining those two to just blow up Diablo.
It's negative 50 from the level 20 of Zool, or excuse me, negative 75 from Mortal Wound, and then negative 50 from the Annihilating Spirit. And as Grubby said, it's 125, but things cap out when it comes to debuffs at 100. But you have a very good point, Grubby, because if there was that Stitches or there was a healing buff or something, it still would be mitigated back down to 100, which is really, really funny. And with 2 members dead on the side of Chili Mountain, Diamond Hands open up the map further, and they prep for Control Point C. Though here's the big thing to note. Maiev just got level 20, and she now has 2 charges of Vault of the Warden, which Vault of the Warden has a 14-second cooldown, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
I know we discussed this in previous weeks, because the tooltip doesn't say.
13, it says.
Oh, what? I swear to God, you and I looked at this a couple weeks ago, and it didn't show it, and we both were like, oh,
Yeah, maybe it's one of those daily downloads we get on the Peanut Launcher for HoTS. Every day they do one bug fix.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, 13-second cooldown on the Vault of the Warden. You got 2 charges of that Vault, though. Really, really strong talent, and I'm expecting Ultralist to make big plays with this. But it's 20s up, control point C.
Pretty sick, because just now Diamond Hands was 5 against 6 forwards. They were down a level, or maybe like up half a level. Now they're full up a full level. Leyline Seal comes in, gets 2 targets there. Zombie Wall, Zul combo. Nice interrupt, buried alive, immediately interrupting. That's a huge apocalypse as well. Everyone has to use their protected and ice wall, their ice block to stay alive. Yet it's Azerite. That feels unjust, right? Like, it was really cool combos by Chili Mountain, but it wasn't enough. It's completely survived and sustained. This Ultra is going to make the big plays here. He's going to vault away. Leyline Seal on Leoric there. Zombie Wall. There's the combo again.
Beautiful combo. Leoric tries to Wraith Walk away, and Make actually almost getting punished for trying to help out Leoric as he drops to some 400 or so HP. And the control point C is open and available for the side of Diamond Hands. Diablo dead for 37 seconds, 82 souls, 234 stacks for the Nazebo, but that kind of doesn't matter. It does, but it doesn't, because, you know, Annihilating Spirit. Like, usually everyone's like, oh, 175 to get to that 20. Annihilating Spirit, super, super good value. Can Caesar Salad make anything happen? Oh, that's such a good lurking arm! Seriously, that was beautiful.
Yeah, really nice counter there. The Zombie Wall, the Lurking Arm. They're so experienced at this combo that literally nobody else plays anymore. Zul, Stukov, Nazebo, and Medivh. And Diamond Hands is probably going to win the game with it. They have all the counters to all these unstoppables that Chili Mountain can use. 2-level lead now. That's worth about 8.5% bonus ability power and attack damage and health. Now finally catch up to a level 21. Blaze is still on the point. That's how confident Diamond Hands is here. They're basically killing the keep in a 4-on-4.
And they moved to mid lane because the Triglav still has to be walked in through bottom lane. Medivh is constantly getting cooldown reduction with basic attacks and arcane rifts for different percents off of the Leyline Seal. That's why you're seeing so many. It's that Temporal Flux at level 16 for any Medivh players out there, or any future Medivh players out there. That is a like necessary talent at level 16 to really just amplify your lockdown to the team. But Triglav Protector walked into mid lane, takes down a keep, and are they going for style points? I guess there's a decent amount of percent-based damage in the Triglav, but no, here comes a huge jump propulsion that does not connect. Lucio getting very low. The Ravenous Spear slapping his way through the enemy side. Low blow! Wilson with the kill into Leoric. A double from Nazebo as the chase is on to Azerite, but it's Ultralisk who's going to be turned on to, and he drops to 50%. Now the Triglav Protector advancing towards Core Kelsier, utilizing the Ice Block to buy a little bit of time against this Diablo. Commandeer Odin dropping in big red buttons. Zul, okay, he gets the buddy in the Triglav Protector. Diablo goes down, another low blow setup. Leyline Seal from Medivh. Vault of the Warden to avoid the damage. Triglav Protector will fall, but it's looking like the core, as Grubby was calling, will fall on the side of Chili Mountain. And ladies and gentlemen, we equalize on this best of 5 series 1-1. And this was extremely well played from Diamond Hands. Chili Mountain had a couple cool moments in there, but Diamond Hands, once they hit 20, I feel like they were on point throughout the game, but 20 talents here with the combo of Mortal Wound and Annihilating Spirit and the help of the setup of Medivh cheats, this was such a good draft, such a good execution from the side of Diamond Hands. We got to bring Justin back in here, because I've got questions for you, but I'm sure you got a lot to break down for Twitch chat. So let's go ahead and get you in here and let's talk about Sky Foundry.
Yeah, Diamond Hands showing why by the end of the last season of CCL, Medivh was being basically permanently banned by everyone. That just is disgusting, the combos that Diamond Hands is able to pull off there. They definitely looked really experienced on it. I'd say Gotfilth is my MVP just for all the good ley lines he had. He never really felt like he was putting himself in any danger. He just maneuvered the fights really well. There was one attempt by Chili Mountain that looked like they were going to finally get a good fight after just losing fight after fight bottom, where Gotfilth does manage to portal everyone out of a huge after a huge entomb. They just barely survived. That was Chili Mountain's only real good fight, was the one bot lane fight near the end, and even that, it was just not good enough. Diamond Hands looking really clean with these combos, hitting the ley line, following that up with the puddle underneath already, into the Blaze Stun, into the Zombie Wall. They just have so much stuff. The Annihilating Spirit at level 20 from the Nazebo, just so much control from Diamond Hands. that it really, from the side of Chili Mountain, team fights probably didn't feel very fair that game, because it really seemed like Diamond Hands just had so many tools to just bully the side of Chili Mountain. And I love to see a team playing this composition and playing it well, and kind of reminding everyone that, yeah, this is still a thing. There's like, it's strong. It's, and you can see how strong it is here. Diamond Hands just playing it really well. I really like the coordination they had and the restraint in holding their cooldowns to be able to make sure they have everything available for the ley line. There was always a zombie wall. There was always a puddle from Stukov. I also really like that Valimar went with the slaps on his ultimate instead of the shove. In almost every game we've been seeing from Stukov, we've been seeing shove, and I feel like a lot of the time when you play Stukov, you only really need what you really need is to be able to kind of completely hard reset a fight if things start to go south. Because if you're playing at your range, at the range that you like to play at Stukov, you pretty much just always win the fights. And I really like that he went slaps. We don't see it very much. We almost always see the shove lately. And I think that's a huge deal to have that form of just complete fight reset. If they ever start getting into Stukov's zone that he doesn't really like, just reset the fight. So well played by Valimar to pick that up and to make good use of it. I'm surprised a little bit at how much damage they were able to put out with their combo. Well, Zool went the Q build, which typically when you have Medivh, you go the W build, where you have a lot of lifesteal, a lot of healing, a lot of attack speed, and you kind of become a secondary damage threat that the enemy has to worry about. There's always the threat of you pouring into the backline. He went with a very team-centric, just only to support the Kelsier on the Nazeebo, and Kelsier on Nazeebo really popped off this game. I was struggling to choose between Gotfilth and Kelsier as my MVP, as the zombie walls were on point, the follow-up was always there. He somehow had 172 stacks at like 12 minutes. Just really well played by them, basically from start to finish. My only real concern is going forward. Their rotations were a little bit awkward in the early game. I think they definitely could have just went mid-top with 4 because they're strong enough to do that. But other than that, mid-game, late game, just Diamond Hands across the board. Really cool to see them pull off this comp.
Well, it's a great series so far. It's 1-1 in our score, but as always, we're going to take a short little break and get ready for map number 3. When we come back, one of these teams will start pushing towards a victory, and one will start to fall behind. Don't go anywhere. This is HeroesCCL, presented by Wisdom. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to HeroesCCL, presented by Wisdom. My name is Bahamut, joined by Grubby and Justing, and we are in our second best of 5 of the day. We sit 1-1 in our score between the members of Diamond Hands and Chili Mountain, and we're getting ready to go into our map number 3. Exciting stuff here on HeroesCCL in our final best of 5 in our group stage of play. We can get into some expectations because we know exactly where we're going to be heading into for map number 3 between both these teams. We can start to break that down for you as Diamond Hands will choose to take us to Battlefield of Eternity as Chili Mountain, the losing side, opting for first pick priority. As always, for anyone that wants those map stats, you got Diamond Hands with a 5-1 record, 83.33% chance of winning. Chili Mountain 0-4 on this map, so definitely a comfort map for the side of Diamond Hands. As I said earlier, the stats for Chili Mountain, they're kind of hard to kind of represent that team completely because of roster changes, role changes, all that kind of stuff. And as we're getting into this draft, there was actually a really good question in production chat, Justin, and I want to actually bring this onto the broadcast because I think there's a lot of us look at things and go like, oh, okay, cool, it worked, but like, why does main tank Zool work? Because in theory, when you look at it on paper, you're like, that kind of doesn't work, but why does this work so extremely well for the side of Diamond Hands as we're kind of getting into a couple of these bans on Battlefield?
So it's something that only works when you have double support or a Medivh to kind of give you that extra tankiness, because he's not as tanky as an actual tank, but if you combine his HP with his level 1, either any of his level 1s having that shield that he has, the active, he becomes just about as tanky as another tank at just surviving burst. But the main thing is his E, his root, is point and click. It's a low cooldown. It's very reliable. You can't miss it. And it makes follow-up very, very easy. It's telegraphed, you know, seconds in advance that it's coming, so you can always follow up off of it. Also, the ghouls at level 10 is actually a really good engage ult for a tank. A lot of the tanks in HoTS have 2 ult choices where one is defensive and one is aggressive, and in almost all cases, the aggressive one is kind of deemed like a troll pick. like Judgment or Sanctification on Tyrael, for example, or Blaze with Bunker or Combustion. And that's kind of the way it is for most of the tanks. And Zul is kind of an exception to that, where you have ghouls, which are actually just really strong engage. It's hard to get past ghouls, and they have a really long range, so your threat is quite long to be able to set up fights. So he just synergizes really well with Medivh in particular as well, being able to portal in and out, gets you in range to hit that E. You can pour it in, drop the E on him, just pour it out. And there's really no risk to doing that if you have the Medivh or double support with you.
And as you had mentioned in the draft, actually, it also, you can do all this portaling, and you can, if you're a little worried about taking any sort of incoming basic attack damage from maybe a Tychus that could shred you, you've got that bone armor, the shade, to just mitigate those auto attacks every 40 seconds, correct, Grubby? I'm right on that
40.
cooldown? 40 seconds, yeah, because it adds 10 seconds. But, Grubby, I gotta get your thoughts, as we got a couple bans of picks coming through for Battlefield of Eternity, and Justin, thank you so much for explaining that.
Very similar looking draft to Sky Temple, where Lunara was solo DPS. It was with Lucio and about 3 frontliners, something like Blaze and Tank and a Hogger. And so they like this. This is perfectly fine on this map. You've got the Wisp for vision, you've got the poke, and Lunara does great. Lucio does great around corners to get information. Tough matchup into Stukov, I always feel like, because of high 5. Might go sound barrier, but generally unlikely, especially into someone like Yrel that has stunts on a short cooldown. So let's see how it's played out. Would be funny if Chili Mountain now takes Nazeebo as well to pair up with Stukov, but unlikely.
It'd be kind of funny if we do just see this hard shift into a bunch of Nazeebos. But, like, you could do what we've seen in some previous weeks, like the DIY or the custom Buried Alive, where you go for that Entomb and you go for a Stukov, you take the low blow, and you kind of have Buried Alive at level 10 already with those 2 synergistic abilities, or I guess the Heroic and the basic ability. But Justin, there's a lot already unfolding, and got to kind of bring you back into this draft to discuss and elaborate what's happening for both of these sides.
Yeah, so Hogger being banned away here for Chili Mountain against Diamond Hands, that's smart. Hogger works really well with Lucio Lunara, just having that move speed, having that ability to dive in with the Hortipult, and also denying the Yrel by picking it themselves, first picking it, which is pretty insane priority onto Yrel. But that is something that Diamond Hands has shown that they can pick as a flex pick, and not denying that with the Lucio as well is pretty good going forward. It's fairly self-reliant, and yeah, they'll have to dig kind of deep into the offlane pool, as we do see the Rexar being picked up with the Blaze, Hogger, and Yrel being picked. They don't go with the Dahaka, which is a little strange. We have seen a bit of a shift away from the Dahaka. He was super high priority previously, and we can tell that it's dropping quite a bit here overall for all the teams. And Grubby had mentioned it, the Lucio into Stukov is a little bit difficult with the puddle. It makes it really hard to get those high 5s off, and yeah, just a lot of aggression here coming out with their last picks from Chili Mountain.
No Maev, it wasn't banned out. It's interesting with the Genji here. So we have the Shimada brothers coming through for the side of Chili Mountain. But Grubby, any thoughts on the draft as we're getting this last pick from Diamond Hands?
I think Chili Mountain has an S tier draft here. You wouldn't take this every time, but you can. It works together beautifully. You've got 2 forms of engage, 3 if you count Stukov, 4 if you count Yrel. Just that many forms of initiation is fantastic. I don't think any of the heroes on Diamond Hands' side are like particularly happy to get Dragon Arrowed into Stukov Puddle with Burrow Charge Impale and Genji combo. I don't think they're particularly good at stopping Genji either. There is the possibility for Diamond Hands to stop the engage of Chili Mountain, but overall I feel like it oozes a lot more threat what Chili Mountain has, and I would go with them in my prediction.
I would as well, but I gotta get Justing to break down everything that we can expect on Battlefield of Eternity, and if you're wrong, well, just don't be wrong, Justin. What are we gonna expect here? Everything.
So Chili Mountain's comp definitely has a lot of kill threat and pressure with the Anubarak. They have the Hanzo for engage, they have Stukov follow-up, and they have the Genji to follow up on top of that. But on the side of Diamond Hands, the main thing that I'm going to be looking at is Muradin, Caesar Salad playing the Muradin. We did see him in a previous game. I was somewhat critical of the way that he was playing, but he was playing really aggressive and had a lot of things that just sort of stopped him from doing that. There's no Lucio on the other side this time for Chili Mountain, so I think Caesar Salad on the Muradin should be relatively invincible and able to live in the enemy's backline. If Diamond Hands can play super aggressive, I think that they'll be able to win, but as soon as they start playing defensively, Chili Mountain should get the upper hand.
Well, we'll see if that prediction will yield correct as we are loaded on into the map. Justin, thank you for the analysis and breakdown, because on the left-hand side, we got the angelic army of Valerian. We got Diamond Hands, Caesar Salad on the Muradin, Valimar on the Lucio, got Filth on the Rexar, Kelsey on the Lunara, Nintori on the Thrall, and Misha, of course, to play Misha. Over on the Hellish Scape side of our map, we've got Belth's army, we've got Chili Mountain, Azerite on the Anubrak, Maka on the Genji, Copen on the Stukov, Ultralisk on the Hanjo, and Burgult on the Urel. Sorry, it took me a second to realize that I just said the words Copen on the Stukov, Grubby?
Sounds right to me. I mean, sometimes we flip those. It's just fine.
Play like Leoric last game or something like
Oh.
that? Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Chili Mountain continues these weird role switches every single clan war, and you wonder, is that part of why there's 0-6 in series now?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm still counting on them to do it. Like,
Same.
Copen probably played Stukov offlane. Like, that's something that CCL players like to do when they're playing Storm League. Like, oh yeah, like Rutso did that a lot. Stukov offlane. It's so cool. And you can get some playing experience there. It's not quite the same, but you still get the mechanics. The question is why? Sometimes it's just, oh yeah, I don't have that hero. Or I've never played that hero. Like, for example, maybe he just doesn't play Urel.
And Burgult plays it a ton, but Burgult...
You're not supposed to die as Urel.
Yeah, especially when you have Dauntless at level 1 and you're going up against 2 auto-attack heavy base people. Granted, I do want to point out, Thrall did go into the correct level 1 for a lot of percent-based healing and damage into the enemies. So there's, and you know, like I say, like, oh, you shouldn't, but yeah, you know, you take stock of that level 1, that does help out quite a bit.
It's just weird, like, actually, when I started playing HoTS, it was my first MOBA.
Same.
And I heard that people have their own role. That usually you main a role, and I found that laughable. I was like, I don't think the game is that complicated. And maybe in a way it isn't, but I think you can play multiple roles probably.
Yeah.
Like, I would imagine everyone can flex every role. Turns out not 100% true anyway. It's still a lot of comfort and synergy, and generally people will main a role, and generally that is an advantage. But what Chili Mountain is doing here reminds me a lot of my mentality back then. Though oftentimes, when we started in our amateur team back then, for exactly that reason, was the same guy that played Arthas was also playing Tychus, because he happened to have those heroes and some other people didn't. So, yeah, wrong reasons there. Maybe wrong reasons here, but we'll see how it goes. That's our early analysis of it.
Yeah.
Let's forget about that now and see how Chili Mountain gets on. We should definitely jump into their comms once, how they get on with this pretty high coordination team composition. Maybe the moment they get level 10 would be lovely to hear from them.
Yeah, a 10 talent tier, maybe an immortal phase around 10 talent tier is definitely what I'll keep my eyes out for, as this is going to be pressure onto Burgult from Caesar Salad. He's just getting a couple autos off. Mostly just pressuring them out. Nothing crazy right now. I'm just trying to take stock of level 4 talents as well. Hanzo going for the Serrated Arrow. Did go into the target practice at level 1, so it'll be interesting to see. But Ultralisk gets the... No, he doesn't.
Nice job there. Valimar pushed Ultralisk into the Immortal stun. From there on, it was kind of a done deal. He started taking extra damage from Kelsier. Merlin jumped in to finish the job. Nintori got a few shots on him as well, so that's Hanzo dead. Now, that should be... it is still very possible for the race to be won by Chili Mountain. Heroes come back fast. Hanzo is on the way already. There was an Immortal HP lead, and not only that, Chili Mountain just has a lot more raw damage on the Immortal. Lunara chugging away. The poison damage has a 10-second delay. Some of that bar that's brown is slower than whatever Chili Mountain could put on it. If they can get one kill fast, or let someone die, they could actually prioritize the Immortal. You see Anubrak running away. They're continuing the fight. They don't care as much about the Immortal. They get the Thrall. Now they're going for the Immortal. They could still win this race.
It's extremely close, and the race potential from Chili Mountain is strong, and they are going to be able to summon Belith into which lane? It's going to be top lane Belith arriving, and for anyone that wants to know, 546 standard damage, 1,092 damage into structures. He has a base health pool of 13,700, and with the small amount of shielding, I'm just waiting for it to fully go up to the top. With the shielding, he has 15,841 total health and shielding to siege in through this port front gate. And now Chili Mountain are invested. We have the around the bottom lane Lurking Arm to put some pressure onto Misha. It is not a low blow Lurking Arm. because we do have the reactive ballista spores from Copen. But this is a great siege. Fort front gate goes down. How much further do they step in on the side of Chili Mountain?
Looks like it's time to leave. It is a 5v4 though, so Rexar comes in with a big Misha stun. It is 5v4. Chili Mountain's happy to stay here, but Diamond Hands in perfect control of their faculties. Nice Stormbolt. Is that actually a kill?
Ultralisk gets the healing pathogen. He's trying to back away, 152 HP, but the healing pathogen, the trait will be procced, and Copen will be able to heal up Ultralisk. Question for you really quickly, Grubby. I don't think this is the case, but I know you can check because you have Supreme Micro. You don't have to get stacks on Amisha, right? Or excuse me, can you get stacks on Amisha to count for Rexar? Or is it no?
What kind of stacks?
Sorry, I didn't even specify. For Ultralisk on the Hanzo.
I actually don't know.
Yeah, because I was just thinking, I was like, I don't think it counts, but you know, sometimes there's interesting things in Heroes of the Storm, like that interesting dive into top lane on Lunara.
Yeah, so it says Murden, it says Rexar. Rexar
Okay.
1 out of 3, and it doesn't say Misha or anything like that.
So I know, like Vikings, you have to hit all 3 Vikings. You have to hit all 3
Really?
Vikings, right? Or no, I'm thinking of Zul'jin Headhunter. That's what I'm thinking of. I'm mixing it up. That's my apologies. Okay.
He has to kill them all?
With Zul'jin Headhunter, you have to kill all 3 Vikings, if I'm not mistaken.
I had a Hanzo on my team recently, took target practice into an Abathur.
Ooh!
And clone does not count.
No, it doesn't. No. But you know what counts is a kill on Rexar in the bottom lane. Chili Mountain finding another kill, and actually, they have the kill advantage in this game. They have near 10 talent tiers, and I think, Grubby, this might be a good time to jump into those Chili Mountain comms.
Yeah, we'll be lovely to hear from them.
In we go.
Yeah, we're chilling.
Race, we got 10, we can maybe get second half as well with 10.
I'm getting one more buff.
Kind of.
I don't think that. I mean, we got 10, we can look.
Race
They
is
have my
here.
combo.
Troll top, we can look for engage right away. We can look for Mura and go. Yeah. You're sitting Mura?
But,
I have shots on him.
Okay,
He's out
can we
30%.
race maybe?
He left right.
Troll is coming now with
Yeah, we need to shield.
for you.
Oh, that's unfortunate. My cocoon is.
We look a bit as 4 here, I think. If there's one, I'm gonna fuck with
I
the
can maybe catch Troll.
I'm gonna fuck with the racer. We can shield a bit. Here's a Mura.
Can we do something? We can race maybe.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm up now.
Just careful, we don't wanna read this.
I can stun them away.
They used,
Hey,
that's quick.
The losers and
Laura's racing.
Nobody's coming here, we look here,
might
we look here.
there.
You can really shoot.
Yeah. Alright. We try and move in on the race. We still have really good race if we can move in. That's fine here. No, I'm still racing. We can move in. We can move in and win the race.
I'm flanking. Look, Rexar.
Yeah, we're hitting Rexer.
Healing Hanzo. Feel
I
Hanzo.
need help.
That's another avatar.
Up to me, I say.
We need to get out. We said it.
An unfortunate series of events to the side of Chili Mountain. It was rough to see that cocoon go out. They were lining up, but that cocoon kind of messed up the dragon's arrow, even though it actually did land on the Rexar on the far side. A rough series of events for the side of Chili Mountain, Grubby.
Yeah, it was, and you know they lost that fight with all heroics available pretty much. And I'm kind of looking at the replay, and I see. Well, actually, I don't know exactly if they had it available or not. There comes an arrow on Thrall back to the present. Thrall trying to get away, and he's surprisingly tanky. Azurite keeps getting focused by Diamond Hands, kind of have that tank busting composition. Merlin can do that. Merlin genuinely has a good matchup into a Nubarak. Thrall pretty much wants to hit a Nubarak as well, especially post pro charge. Big all in on Ultralisk here. He gets away again. Man, this guy is a cat with 9 lives.
He's quickly running out of those lives while he's getting dove consistently, but in bottom lane got Filth split and was able to get the fort for the rest of Diamond Hands and pushing ahead in this experience department, as we are going to be having 13 talent here coming in favor for the side of Diamond Hands in, well, maybe a camp or two, because it is looking like Rexar Misha will rotate to the bottom lane camp, but that could be risky. I think he's actually going to back off, let Misha check the camp, not sacrifice his own body. And there it is. Yeah, I think he might have seen Ultralisk, and Azerite definitely sees Ultralisk now. Got Filth still floating around over here. It is shown that it's only got Filth. Diamond Hands, Valamar just now showing as he rotated down. A new Break Burrow Charge will not connect. Misha gets the high five from Lucio, but here comes Muradin with the Dwarf Toss, and there's going to be Boars Unleashed. Here's a huge arrow from Ultralisk, but it's not enough because Thrall finds the flank. Massive shove to push him back. Earthquake still proccing. Copen trying to heal up. He's still inside this Earthquake. Valamar low. He gets a couple high fives. Burgolt low as well. Does go down. Thrall will find the kill into Stukov. It's a slow triple kill to the side of Diamond Hands. But what do they find off of this, Grubby, after the triple kill?
Well, first of all, experience. It also gets them a little bit of structures. They want to probably get 2 towers, then go back and either take their own bruiser or steal enemy bruiser. Did not expect that jump. Did not see that coming. Doesn't pay off, but cool move. Quite unexpected. Now, I don't think you fight for enemy bruiser. You probably go back. I would say Diamond Hands takes 10% race damage on the Immortal and then falls back. Let's see if they do even that. Nope. Just playing it safe.
Thrall rushing back from the Hall of Storm, and that might be the reason that there's a little bit of this dissuadement from the side of Diamond Hands, as they just didn't want to fight without the Thrall. His Earthquakes have been really, really impactful. Granted, he doesn't have that for another 30 seconds, but he still has a lot of really good tools. The Blood for Blood, the Ancestral Wrath at level 7, as well as I mentioned the Rolling Thunder at level 1. He's going to be prioritizing some of those tanks, potentially Urel with that percent-based damage and sustainability. We also have the Pharaoh Resilience, but I'm waiting patiently, Grubby, for the fight to break out.
Yeah, no major breaking points right now of timings. You've got the Bruiser at the bottom becoming a threat. Urel is wondering if she's allowed to go there. Chili Mountain says, no, stay near. We're looking for an arrow. As Ultralisk is standing there on the flank, he'll be looking for the perfect arrow. He gets a good potential into this boss place, but they would have to fight into Immortals. Everyone just look at Ultralisk there on that right side. Is he going to arrow, yes or no? In the meantime, Maka takes massive damage. He goes in with the X-Strike and he gets himself stunned coming out of it. Very unfortunate play there by Maka. He dropped low. He decided to roll the dice. And it does go 3 for 1. Yeah, it's a disaster.
It was looking okay for that slight outplay from Hanzo, but it's only just the outplay in the 1v1. The rest of the team fight will be won by the side of Diamond Hands finding a quad kill. And meanwhile, in bottom lane, that was a phenomenal Fallen Shaman camp, able to get the keep. If Immortal phases one, when Immortal phases one by the side of Diamond Hands, this Immortal, Alarian, will go into the top lane. Granted, I say it's guaranteed, and death timers are low, but the counterpoint to my counterpoint is 16 to 14 in levels, 11 to 4 in kills. I don't think Chili Mountain tries to step up. I think they turtle up and they wait for this siege to come in, but I feel like I'm wrong in the case because look at the mini-map on the right side.
Yeah, I'd say just go. I think you just play down a talent. If you're fighting against 100, well, actually they're getting a really good amount of damage on the Immortal. I take it back. Can I still take it back, or am I going now hypothetically?
No, you're absolutely available to.
Okay. They still have better race. They didn't need Urel for that, and they took it down to 4,000 points of shield. No problem. They're going to be able to save their keep and play standard here and comfortably. Caesar Salad starts to take occupation off the flank. No doubt that little smoke screen down there is going to be looked at by various teams.
Lunara does have this Sentinel Wisp in that bush, which will actually yield quite a bit of vision. I want to actually check really quickly for myself. So the vision from Sentinel Wisp was showing to just the edge of the keep, but that's already going to be cleared out by Copen because the assumption is, well, if I can be seen by something, it's probably the Sentinel Wisp and it's probably in that bush. But double Stormbolt coming through. Azerite needs to back up right now. He's still full HP, but just the precarious positioning as the Immortal steps in, dealing a lot of damage into structures, nearly 2,000 damage into these structures, actually 1,540 something, but the Boars were unleashed by the Rexar, no kill command. Keep does go down. Burgold has a lot of damage, but he also pops the Ardent Defender. Here comes the Earthquake from Thrall. Look at the arrow from the Hanzo Ultralisk on the back line of this fight. Massive shove onto Muradin. And it seems like Caesar Salad just mounts up. He's like, no, I'm not done fighting. Copen's the target, gets hit with the Stormbolt, double leaping strike from Lunara. And here comes Burgle jumping in again to try and save the day. He will fall. So should Genji? No, Genji gets the swift strike away. But the advancement towards the core is in the hands of Diamond Hands. Can they actually take this core down with 2 members dead on the side of Chili Mountain?
Man, I didn't expect this. I thought Thrall was going to be underwhelming, but he looked great. And Tori is looking at a 1 death top damage count even as Thrall. Very impressive. And yeah, they've just been kind of spanking. Rexar looks real good when it's on the side of Diamond Hands. Murden in particular, like Justin said, was living rent-free on the side of Chili Mountain. They had no answer for Murden at all. 0 deaths. He was constantly controlling the flanks. It's not easy to play Murden, to stop dive from multiple people. And he's got 5 lost skills. Murden, absolute assassin, absolute unit here. Caesar Salad would be either him or Valimar, probably my MVP.
Oh, absolutely. The Murden nearly having 100% kill participation. I think this is actually one of his best maps as well. But you also nailed it. It's not the easiest play. It's not like take the Murden, win the game sort of deal. You definitely had some positional choices as well as some amazing skill shots with that double Stormbolt towards the end. But I know Justin has been watching due diligently, and he has a lot to break down for us.
Yeah, that was a big turnaround in momentum about once they hit level 10s for Diamond Hands. The very early game, Chili Mountain was controlling relatively well. They had a lot of early aggression in getting the... they got the entire top fort with their first objective, which doesn't normally happen on Battlefield. Getting the first objective, it's not normally strong enough, but they were able to dive top and get the whole fort. But things kind of went downhill once they got their ultimates on the side of Diamond Hands. Their composition has a lot more sustained damage and a lot more just CC than Chili Mountain's does. So as soon as Chili Mountain fails their execution on their engage, they immediately lose the fight. The Earthquake is really good counter engage. You can't really fight into that on the side of Chili Mountain. So once Azerite burrows in, if they don't get a kill off of that in combination with the Hanzo arrow and the Stukov silence, they just lose the long fight. And Valimar, I would say, was my MVP for this game. He showed that even against Stukov, you can still get a lot of high 5 value. He was denying a lot of the engages just by being super proactive with the high-fiving immediately. This moment right here is where they really completely lost the game for Chili Mountain. We have Make diving in on the Genji, just getting deleted. And once you dive in like this, you see the Earthquake gets so much value here. It's so hard for everyone to dive in when an Earthquake's on the floor. It really just put a real damper on the engage from Chili Mountain. And we listen to their comms. They seem pretty calm at first. We come in there and they're like, we chilling. And you even hear people like, I heard Azerite burrowing out, just being like, hey, hey. And then they do miss the engage. They had the unfortunate cocoon onto the Hanzo arrow so that the Hanzo arrow missed. And just that kind of lack of coordination with a composition like this, if you aren't perfectly synergized, you immediately lose the extended fight due to the counter engage. Just a lot of good CC, good chain CC coming out from Diamond Hands, and just a lot of control in all those fights after around the level 10 to 11, 12 mark.
I actually really love the Thrall pickup. It's not something we see very often, but I think the Earthquakes are extremely strong. And I don't know, did we actually make it to level 20 in that game? I feel like it didn't hit 20. Because I was wondering, because even then you get like Earth and Shields as well, which is a great team fight tool for the side of Diamond Hands. So all in all, their draft kind of, it really it ramped up, like shifting gears in a car. Like it was very like, okay, we're in first, we're in second, and then they were like, all right, cool, we're cruising in fifth gear, or however high their gears go on their car. And they were able to truck into the core that was Chili Mountain, and it was a phenomenal map number 3. We are ready to go into map 4 already, so we can break that down for all of you at home as to where we're heading into, which could possibly be the final map of our group stage. Diamond Hands choosing to take us to Tomb of the Spider Queen, as Chili Mountain has opted in for first pick priority. As we're getting into Tomb here, Grubby, any expectations from either of these teams, draft style-wise?
Well, I'm going to ask you first, what is the stats for Diamond Hands on this map, on Tomb of the Spider Queen, as they pick it? And as you look at that, I would say probably we could see a similar style coming out here for as on Alterac Pass. You can kind of play this map slow. You can do, in theory, you could do Medivh, Stukov, Zul again if they wanted to. But how have they gotten on so far, Baha, on this map?
Diamond Hands is 1-3, so they have a 25% win rate on this map, and Chili Mountain are 0-4. So both of these teams have played this map 4 times in HeroesCCL Season 3, with only one of them finding a victory. So it's going to be a hard fight on both sides. And you know, Justin, Grubby, I got to ask you both, why is Azmodan the first pick for both of these teams? Just please tell me why it's going to be Azmodan, right? You know,
This
the
is
best
alphabetical.
hero. Yeah. Wait, but or
Yeah, I'm gonna guess it's just because the second letter's a Z. I'm gonna guess it's not quite, but
He's banned. Alba's banned.
okay, there we go. But no, realistically, as we're getting into Tomb of Spider Queen, I do want to get both of your expectations. And I want to start with Grubby. Like, what's your expectations, either draft wise or even what we could see from the teams?
Lucio has seemed strong so far. I would say. So we could see more of that coming out. There we go. Well, that makes sense. So, and another thing is we didn't see any Johanna contestment in the pre. Oh, well, there we go. Well,
Justin, any thoughts on the draft? Because Grubby apparently is
good work, Grubby.
Yeah, great work.
What else? What's the next one?
you know, it's weird. We haven't seen any Mephisto today yet.
Yeah, I'd
We
love
haven't
to
Chili
see some
Mountain
Cho'Gall.
seen any Mephisto. But yeah, I'm expecting to see. Let's see, Stukov is still available. They haven't shown a lot of priority on it for Chili Mountain though, at least not super early in the draft. Medivh is available, and Diamond Hands did have a really cool Medivh comp 2 weeks ago, I believe, against Wildheart, where they had that really nice wombo combo with the Falling Sword, which since then Johanna has been permanently banned for the most part, but they had a really nice combo with Medivh, and this is one of Medivh's best maps. They played it really well on Volskaya. They do have the Junkrat on Chili Mountain to preemptively kind of soft counter the Medivh. You have the traps and you have the big explosion that can knock everyone away if they try to take the portal, which makes it a lot scarier to take those. But yep, off the bat, we've got the Medivh Stukov. That's a very, very strong pairing. You can pretty much go anything with your draft after this point, within reason, and you'll have a pretty good comp. But they do have the Junkrat from Chili Mountain, so most likely expecting this Medivh to be picked for Diamond Hands.
Diamond Hands does get the Medivh Stukov. Urel Brightwing Junkrat. It feels, Justin, like a lot of control response from the side of Chili Mountain into the Medivh already, right? Just Hammer, Polymorph, Concussion Mines, as you already mentioned.
Yeah, it's one of the best things to deal with the Medivh, especially with if your whole team takes portals, you have to really kind of question whether it's safe or not a lot more than you would normally when you have that displacement. Displacement does seem to be the best thing against Medivh. That being said, there's some displacement being banned out by Diamond Hands. They banned the Falstad. I think that's really smart. If they didn't want to pick that up themselves, denying the Gust to add even more displacement from the side of Chili Mountain. Good heads-up ban by Diamond Hands, knowing what will counter their comp and their Medivh.
Now you have to ban Nazebo or Zul.
Yeah, you took the question out from
Sorry.
me. No, it's
sorry.
okay. No,
Take it back. Go ahead. Ask me.
Do you ban? Oh,
Yes, you do.
what?
But they didn't.
Why? Like, I was like, Diablo's an option, Nazebo's an option, the Zul's an option. Like, I feel like there's 3 really apparent options, but Vala banned from the side. I don't know. I don't know about this,
Zul, though.
Justin. Yeah.
No, Zul.
Yeah, it's strange to prioritize the Diablo here. I think it's more to deny it, because normally you would want to hide your tank pick here, because you do have a lot of flexible options. When you do have the Medivh, it allows you to go into the Zul. You can even play Maiev as a main tank, because she functions quite similarly to the Zul in the comp. But they're not opting to take their ranged here. They still have the option to go with the Nazebo last pick. Stitch is picked up, more displacement once again. Imperious, if he takes the Kidnap ultimate, more displacement still. So Chili Mountain really all-inning on this displacement style. The Falstad was banned, so no Gust for them, but pretty much every other thing with displacement they could possibly pick, they do. And the Diablo, though, is going to be very tanky. The only thing on the side of Chili Mountain that really deals with Diablo is Imperious. So I'm expecting to see Imperious take the percent damage at level 1. That is a pretty good counter to Diablo in isolation, but when you add the Medivh on top of that, it's also very predictable. You see the spear come out, and it's not even until the auto attack after the fact that procs all of your marks on the target that you get that percent damage burst. So should be fairly easy to protect for Medivh. My only real concern for Diamond Hands draft is since they opted for the traditional tank in Diablo, the main drawback to that versus the Zul is they don't have the wave clear that Zul provides. which is a big part of why you play that with the Medivh comp, is it kind of fills that gap that normally your composition doesn't have enough wave clear if you pick a traditional tank like this Diablo. So, and also in picking up the Cassia as their hyper carry, that also doesn't have much wave clear either. So if Chili Mountain is able to win this game, it's most likely going to be just through better macro. And that's not easy to do on Tomb, but with this much wave clear, you can really control the map. Tomb is a map where you really do need wave clear quite a bit. So Diamond Hands might be struggling here just based on the wave clear alone. So that's going to be what Chili Mountain's going to have to look to capitalize on if they're going to want to beat Diamond Hands in this game 4 of the series.
Game 4 is loading on into Tomb of the Spider Queen, and it's going to be a tense matchup between both these sides. Justin, as always, thank you for the breakdown analysis on what could potentially be the final game of HeroesCCL group stage, because as I said, we're loaded on in on the left-hand side. We got Diamond Hands, who are in the advantage in this best-of-5 series to close things out in a 3-1 way. Caesar Salad on the pause as we can introduce these teams in just a second here. It looks like one of the players did DC, so we can continue this discussion about the drafts and kind of get a little further, a deep dive into this, because I think Justin made a few good points on wave clear, and I want to ask you about this, Grubby. Do you think that Chili Mountain could just press in with web weavers and constant rotations, or do you think Diamond Hands will just kind of surpass that siege and go for the team fight with the aggressive comp of Medivh and Diablo?
Yeah, I think they want to fight a lot, especially early game into Stitches. That's why I love that Junkrat is here. He kind of makes it hard to find around enemy towers, even if you've got a minion wave. Medivh does make that easier. So overall, I would expect that Diamond Hands wants to get ahead early, as they need the web weavers to get any kind of push power building up. Whereas it's much less required for Chili Mountain to get the web weavers, and they're better at defending against it as well. So full agreement here. Need to win via macro. Notoriously hard though on this map to win via macro. Then the Stitches is always a great wildcard. Stitches Junkrat is fantastic together, and normally I always vote for a win for Stitches Junkrat, as it's just so good together. The big wild card here, as always, is of course Medivh, who may be the only one that can stop Stitches Junkrat from constantly getting picks.
Yeah, I was writing down. I wrote down a Chili Mountain victory, actually, because I think they can take us to a game 5. I think there's also a lot of really, really good displacement with the potential, as Justin had mentioned, the Wrath of Angiras from the Imperius, as well as the Gorge from Stitches. You can actually play into each other. You Wrath of Angiras 1, you pull them back, then once that person comes out of the sky suplex, as we also like to call it, you can immediately Gorge with the Stitches and increase that distance even further. Yrel has a lot of good displacement. Junkrat with Concussion Mine, Steel Traps play extremely well into the Stitches, but it is always hard to vote against a Medivh, because, I mean, that Volskaya Foundry game looked extremely well coordinated.
Yeah.
Got Filth, definitely the MVP in that matchup. As I mentioned, we do have a player DC right now. We are getting them back into game, and we should be able to resume Tomb of the Spider Queen in just a few moments here. But it's definitely a good draft between both sides. I feel like it could go any which way. It's just momentum is terrifyingly looking good for Diamond Hands, like pre-10, because it's just constant aggression, and 10s are, I think, where things shift back over to Chili Mountain.
Yeah, I think probably. But then there is always that portal, the portal force of will that can save people.
True,
and in fact, if I'm not mistaken, Kelsier, he may have gone Valkyrie before last week, and he might do it again. You know, Valkyrie gonna be a great tool to also bring Stitches or anyone back forward and kind of work like a hook as well. Definitely seems more likely than Lightning Ball, which you can't really control. It could be accidentally damaging Yrel during Absorbent Defender. It could disjoint on Imperius when he goes Wrath of the Angiras, or just kind of hit one target for not as optimal of damage. Valkyrie, great displacement tool, and we may see that coming forward. One more little asterisk. Is Brightwing going to go for Emerald Wind? Possible.
It's definitely possible, and we're actually going to get back into the game. Thank you all so much for being patient with us as we were getting the player back in, but we can introduce these teams, because on the left-hand side, as I mentioned, we have Diamond Hands looking to close things out in a 3-1. We got Caesar Salad on the Diablo, got Filth on the Medivh, Nintori to play the Blaze, Valimar on the Stukov, and Kelsier on the Cassia. Over in the red, looking to take us to map number 5 through Tomb of the Spider Queen, we got Copen on the Yrel, Make on the Junkrat, Ultralist to play Imperius, Azurite on Stitches and Burgold on the Bright Wing. That will be your Chili Mountain roster. Oh man, Grubby, I can't believe we're here. 7 weeks of play. Multiple best of fives. Amazing weeks of games. And this could be our final one for the group stage of 2021.
And let it be a good game indeed, as we all enjoy this send-off into 2022. As we saw the first hook attempt coming out there into a potential trap. Alamar with the silencing arm to protect the portal. Overpower.
Concussion Mine splitting up Caesar Salad, who does get hit by the hook. No hook talents just yet from Azurite, but we could see a few of those being picked up. And this is the other thing. I don't think we really mentioned this during the draft, because there's a lot of value of Junkrat on this map, from displacement of Diablo, Medivh, all of that good stuff, but also steel traps and concussion mines between the mid to top rotations will provide vision. Usually the tanks, Diablo, want to kind of anchor within the rotations. These concussion mines are so on point. Caesar Salad has a portal to take, but just to step forward to the portal instead of just keep going to the left, he took 50% of his health bar.
Yeah, nice damage there. Burn the Impure from Imperius kind of coming in there. 2.5% per brand, so he could do 7.5% on an auto attack. Makes the Cassia pick. I mean, maybe they would have gone Cassia anyway, but her blind is actually huge. When you notice that Imperius is coming in, same on Imperius, same on Orphea, that auto attack consumption is lifesteal and it's damage. So that's actually, you don't often think when an enemy has Imperius or Orphea. First of all, it doesn't happen often. You also don't often think, oh, we need blinds, but it's so good against them.
The other thing too is like, oh god, I just had another hero that it was really good into doing as well, and I just completely blanked on it because I went to go look at a stat, but it doesn't matter. Anyways, we do have both of these teams kind of vying for the turn-in potential, and Team of the Spider Queen has a semi-slow rotations at the start, and it's a little bit faster for the side of Chili Mountain to get this camp out in mid, but will they press into the wave? Not just yet. They're clearing the top lane. Actually, they're looking at Caesar Salad, who's being zoned by the concussion mine. Polymorph by the Bright Wing. Is there a hook from Stitches? Yes. Goodbye, Caesar Salad. First blood to the side of Chili Mountain.
Nice job. I thought he was almost going to get away to Diablo, and like literally almost any tank would have got the kill there, but with Stitches it can feel conditional and difficult to get that kill. Like ETC, Power Slide, Face Melt, easy kill. But they get the Diablo, and that's actually quite enormous, because Chili Mountain is leveraging that superior map pressure that we talked about. The Bruiser Camp delay forced people away from the from other lanes, and that gave them a kill on Diablo in the top. This is exactly how it looks like when a team like the right side wins against a team like the left side. Quicker Bruiser Camp, quicker clear of, and then kills in other lanes.
Ultralisk was hearthing away, and since there was the connection of the hook, there was an attempt with the Celestial Charge of this Imperius, but he's not going to back fully. Shadow Charge in from Caesar Salad. Max range into the wall. Lurking Arm from the Stukov does come down. Got Phil floating around in bird form, raven form, excuse me, as it's going to be 22 stacks on the Arcane Rift baseline. And he is looking to finish this out, but we'll keep track. If he does die, we'll definitely, totally not toxically, keep track of all of those lost stacks.
Yeah, he's got 22. So far looking fine. He was real fast with it in the first game earlier today. Got filled. Impale there coming on Cassia. The hook actually stolen by Diablo. He tries to save Cassia, but there's the second kill. Beautiful.
I believe that was actually into a steel trap as well. I think that was also kind of locked her down. And ooh,
25, 27.
Zero! Yesterday, for anyone wondering, Butcher lost 77 stacks. I actually have that noted in my notes. I have that handy for anyone.
That up, man. Poor Butcher.
I mean, hey, you pick Butcher. But I want to talk about Junkrat really quickly, because we're not seeing the standard 4 and 7.
Wait a minute. Oh, this is his last build. This guy plays on my stream often. Concussive Mine build.
Yeah.
At level 4 and 10. So hitting an enemy hero with Concussion Mine reduces its cooldown by 10 seconds. And that's going to take it down to just 6. And that's after you've thrown and detonated it. So it'll feel more like a 4-second cooldown or even less. Bogged down. Enemies launched by Concussion Mine are slowed by 40% for 2.5 seconds upon landing. It's the anti-Medivh build. Displacement.
It's so good. I'm absolutely loving this. I was expecting steel traps, but no. It's this bog down at level 7 is going to be really cool, and we'll see how things work out later on with the picks as well, because we do have a almost level lead with the triple kill that was found, or 3 kills on the side of Chili Mountain. But this Web Weaver phase coming into lanes, Junkrat actually pushes up the top lane. That should be a fort to go down to the Web Weaver. It's over 75% HP, and Junkrat will be able to join the rest of his team. Momentum from Chili Mountain looking almost like an avalanche per se into the side of Diamond Hands.
Yeah, Stitch's team, again, being ahead before level 10, always a good sign. It's courtesy of their wave clear now. Chili Mountain looking determined to win their first best of 3 in this season. They don't want to end on the 0-6. They want to have a nice send-off into the vacay. They're almost level 10 here. A bit early to start the all-out initiation, but maybe if you distract someone long enough, you can just walk up to Diablo and eat him. Eat him!
We are going to see Sky Suplex. Sky Suplex, Wrath of Angiers. Brightwing is holding 10. We could actually see the Emerald wins, and it's not as much of a meme as maybe people are thinking that it is, because it really synergizes with the single target displacement play, and it's not going to be Emerald Wind. It will be the Blink Heal, so we should be seeing Invisible Friends at level 20, but with a slight experience advantage for the time being. Hook over the wall. Oh, if that was 13, Kelsey, it would have been Hook Gorge Death.
It's cool. If Azerite would have shown up in the Storm League game, I would always expect him to play DPS, but now he's been playing tank. I'd be happily letting him play play Stitches. Probably been getting some practice with that. Still needs to hit most of the big connections in the mid to late game, but it gets a lot easier as you get level 13.
Yeah, 13 will give you 40% range increase on your hook, the extended hook. It used to have to take the fishing hook talent to be able to do this, but now it's baked in. I really like some of these baked in talents, like Muradin's baseline with the Stormbolt. But let's talk about what's happening right now, because this is another turn at Gorge onto the Cassio. Stitches is going to try and back away. Concussion Mine onto the ground. There's going to be a lot of members in this corridor. This is kind of a good fight for the Diablo. Will he pop the Apocalypse? It's going to be a very low Medivh. He's got 10 stacks. He's got 20 HP, but Medivh lives. I can't believe it. He's going to continue to try and help out his team, and it's Stitches to go down. Riptire from Junkrat. Oh, Got Filth lived with a sliver of HP. He comes back in trying to get more stacks on that baseline. Arcane Rift portals forward to try and set something up into the Imperius. Wrath of Angiers is on a 50-second cooldown still, and I cannot believe that Got Filth lived.
Yeah, he got a clutch heal from Valimar at the very end, and I think a little bit too much damage into his absorption shield. That must be frustrating. Ultralisk served him up real nice. There was that distraction with Cassia, but that actually worked out well for Ultralisk. Essentially, there's 2 abductors here for Chili Mountain, and that's actually really smart playing into Medivh to have multiple ways to gorge someone, if you will. Medivh, high priority target. People started to try and focus him. He dropped to 89 health at the lowest, if not lower. He got that heal after the Force of Will broke down.
Filth is going to bird up in the bottom area. There's a gorge onto the... Was that Hand of Freedom used as well to give the speed boost to Azerite?
Oh, you're right.
I think it was. 41 gems are on this blaze. Oh no, he's in a really awkward spot. He's trying to get into the portal and will be able to get out. Ooh, that could have been really bad for the gem economy of Diamond Hands.
Yeah, 44 gems. Is that... Well, actually, many of them have many gems. That's not even half of the gems they own, but it's still a lot. As 110 gems out of over 50 is what Diamond Hands has right here, and they're holding on to it. Chili Mountain, will they stop turn-ins? Yeah, they've got people in position.
So Azerite's on the bottom area, Yrel just above. There's that level 13, so extended hook, 40% range. Azerite should be able to land some more hooks because all of them have just felt slightly shy. Oh my god, that... Oh, that was so close to hitting Valimar, but the minion was like, I'll get in the way, Mr. President.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty close. Was a cool, clean hook, I would say.
And 13s do come through. Oh, wait, there's a hook.
Split 1-3-1. Like, they're threatening with 3 while pushing with 2. Top and bottom. So, big macro advantage. Diamond Hands is just grouping up, hoping for a nice 5-on-5.
And Tori will be interrupted. Copen dives in here. Caesar Salad looking to jump in as well. But look at the top of our screen. We do have the Leyline Seal. There's an Apocalypse as well. But we do have a Gorged Cassia. She's able to get out of that. Ball Lightning was the pickup at 10. Wrath of Angiers was attempted onto maybe Medivh, but it completely is not even close. There's a Riptire out from Junkrat. Diablo seems to be the new target being forced up against the wall. Protection status, by the way, from this Medivh as the Ball Lightning comes out, gets a singular bounce and immediately expires. Portaling around from these Diamond Hand players. Kelsier getting very low, does get the Will of Force from Medivh. Concussion Mine does save the dive onto Copen, and it's such a crazy back and forth fight. Gorge down for 28 seconds, but the hook will connect.
Crazy that Brightwing is keeping everyone up like this. It's only a single support, but nobody's dying. Diablo looking particularly hard to kill there. Kelsier living kind of in the center there. Copen trying to get the Kelsier, but he goes away through the portal.
Medivh sitting at 26 stacks. He's almost back to where he was when he died. And another fight will break out. Lurking Arm onto Copen. We do have the low blow value, so we have to watch for players that are below 50% HP because they'll take increased damage from the Lurking Arm. We also do have the Divine Steed from the from the Urel at level 7 for the Instamount to be able to get away from the enemies faster. Does give you a little extra movement speed. You actually move at 160%, but that decays over 3 seconds back down to 130.
Over 3 seconds, is it? Oh, okay, so that's an average of 15% over those 3 seconds. Not a lot of extra movement, but yeah, it can be quite nice to dodge, especially the instant mounting. Yeah,
the value that I've seen from it is that it's a lot of really good. It's like burst movement speed, just to be able to get a little bit away from maybe Diablo's walls or even Lurking Arms. Well, I guess not Lurking Arms because you'd be silenced, but that doesn't matter because the Leyline Seal is out. Apocalypse will be utilized. Phase Shift is interrupted by the Apocalypse actually. Set on a 10-second cooldown. 16s are nearing for both sides, but it feels like we've been brawling for like the last 4 minutes, Grubby. Like no kills, just brawling.
And that works out well for Chili Mountain. They've once again mounted up pressure in the bottom lane. They're so close to their own gate. I feel like even just any kind of Gorge could just be huge. But of course, Godfilter's position is really good. He tends to Leyline Seal and stop that right in its tracks. Diamond Hand's doing a great job being able to send Blaze to clear the siege and the catapults without losing out on the map.
Celestial Charge connects. The hook will be there. The Gorge immediately as well. Concussion Mine.
Copen zoning away Medivh so that this time there cannot be a Leyline interrupt.
Nice.
Medivh found himself on land, not in the water. So for the first time, Gorge gets a massive result. Godfield, how many stacks have we got here? 35.
Portal. But Wrath of Angiers actually was just put on a 10-second cooldown because of the overpower of the Diablo, and the fight will continue to break out. Steel Trap on the ground, but Diablo, he's actually going to get pulled through the Steel Trap. Protection from Medivh. He jumps into the bunker, the Diablo. Blaze trying to save the friends around.
Nice mine.
Polymorph. Leyline Seal. Woo! That's a 5-man Leyline Seal. A Lurking Arm forces the Ardent Defender. A hook. A Gorge. No, excuse me. A hook. A Celestial Charge. Medivh did finish his baseline Arcane Rift stack, so now time to turbo int.
I like that term, turbo inting. It's pretty accurate for some people, you see. But in goes Diablo on Stitches. Right wing Z comes forward. Oh, nice hook on Valamar. Mine doesn't pop him in quite the right direction.
Still really... Oh, wait. Another Gorge onto Cassia. Overpower. Just zoning back the Stitches from that Concussion Mine. Big Soothing Mist. Azurite very low. Does fall. That will be a kill over the side of Diamond Hands, who do have the Apocalypse Leyline Seal, but I think it was a little too early. Actually, might have been perfectly timed because I am just seeing a Perma CC'd Copen. Great Concussion Mine over the wall. That should be a kill into Kelsier.
Nice. You know, Kelsier was the best push after all this, so now it actually means despite those 2 kills, there's not going to be too big of an actual push. So it does buy time for the actual turn-in. Now look at the top wave and the bottom wave. This turn-in will have trouble achieving much. It's perfectly along party lines how you would expect this game to go. You've got the red side here with the big wave clear, and then the blue side now has to clear this up. It means that those web weavers are going to lose a lot of health as they're pushing out. Only the center is at the gate, but does this mean this will get like only 1/4?
I don't even know if it gets the fort. It might not even get fort front gate. What I do like about this, though, and for anyone that doesn't know, Tomb of Spider Queen is one of the unique map objectives that actually slowly loses health over time without actually even taking any damage. It's just part of the mechanic of the map. What we are seeing is that the waves are going to get pushed in, and there's more than enough for another turn-in to the side of Diamond Hands, so long as they don't lose a bunch of gems off of their Diablo right here, right now. That's going to be a phase shift of Polymorph. There's so much on the ground. The Leyline Seal will be there. Apocalypse 4 seconds away from being utilized as Ardent Defenders use. That mitigates a lot of the incoming damage. But now the real damage is in, and true damage will find the kill into Urel. It's Diamond Hands who are saying map number 5 is not going to happen anytime soon, Chili Mountain. You may have caught us off guard in map 1, but we are the ones to take this next map. And with the waves pushed up, I feel like Diamond Hands, they get fort. They back off, maybe look for boss plus turn in here with Urel dead for 36 seconds.
I think you're right, Bahamut. They've got the gems, they've got the situation, they've got the position. 2 forts were taken down in this push. What a big turnaround. It goes all the way back to that fight at the center there, where it started with the Gorge on Cassia. Leyline came in, Apocalypse, Urel got blown up. In fact, the Apocalypse Leyline was so well timed by Caesar Salad that Urel insta-mounted with Divine Steed out of the leyline and still got clipped by Apocalypse.
Yeah. It was like I thought it missed, but it was, well, as you say when you watch AGDQ and SGDQ, it was frame perfect. It was a frame perfect execution from the side of Diamond Hands. And here comes the Webweaver plus boss, and if math serves me correct, which it rarely does on this broadcast, we can actually see triple turn in for the side of Diamond Hands, because this is second, and they had 135 gems in their pockets, and Blaze was the one who turned in the vast majority. Actually, Blaze was the only one to turn in. Yeah, they have more than enough if we were to hit Control 6. Yeah.
81 gems, they need maybe 65, so they could definitely do a third turn in, and that could be game winning. It's boss plus triple Webweavers. Heck, even it could be game winning even now if they get 1 or 2 kills.
You want to get in some Diamond Hands comms? We haven't heard from them today.
Yeah, great, let's do it.
In we go.
We have 20. Yeah. Well, it's very
I'm gonna look for a
scary.
melee flip.
I mean, I can look for a ley line.
Okay.
Playing around Spider, minion wave.
It's a little hard under their fort, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
We have another turn in, right?
Yeah, we have another
Yeah,
turn. We should probably just
I think we
chill
just leave.
and take our other turn.
I'm hooked. I'm hooked.
I ley line.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Hey, guys.
I can maybe drop one.
Yeah, go Brian. Kill her. He's one.
Got him.
I have shields for you, you're fine.
Imp.
I don't have armor.
Yeah. We enter bottom, I think.
I have another ley line in a second.
Top the tire, maybe. I'm gonna get hooked here.
I have shields for you, you're fine. I ley line. It probably misses, but maybe I get him.
Choose moment.
Stun in 1 if you QE anything.
You're getting chunked by this fort.
I look at the junk right here.
Oh, I
should
need help.
be
I need got. Yeah, I have rock
Trap.
chopper.
There's actually no way.
Get in.
I'll fly lane. I can TP out from
Get the globies.
How long is the How long is the
Oh my.
10 seconds, 10 seconds.
Stunning front line. Big.
Yeah.
Silence.
Way to
Yeah,
go,
we go.
Citrus. Yeah.
Silence again.
Citrus.
moment.
Low blow, baby. Okay,
I have
low
a
blow,
pop.
baby. Okay, give me a look at junk. Give me a look at junk.
I don't have E, no low blow moment.
Okay. Core.
Just hit the core. I flail him off you.
Yeah, core.
Fuck off.
Our core damage is so ass, actually, but...
We got it.
Seconds. Bunker in 5 seconds. I think we have it.
Oh, God. Let's go,
These
boys.
guys.
Let's go. GG. Oh.
Sorry, I had to make sure that I was getting all of us back into our call, because I wanted to hear, like, at least want to get all the comms at the end of a series like that, because I'm sure there was a lot of yelling about low blow, because I did hear that as I was jumping out of the call. That was so cool. That was a very, very well executed end from the side of Diamond Hands, and you could even hear in the comms they were like, we can end off of this, or we could just back up and go for the turn in, and then the execution off of the hook onto Caesar Salad. Like, it looked bad for Caesar Salad, but Got Filth comes in with a wonderful leyline seal. Brightwing falls, and it's all Diamond Hands at that point. We got Justing back in the mix to break down everything we saw on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Yeah, so the early game went kind of similar to how you would expect, with Diamond Hands just constantly being pushed in early. Their comp really lacks wave clear on Tomb, so there wasn't a whole lot for them to do in the early game. Nothing proactive, really, and it did feel from most of the early game that it was just Chili Mountain fully controlling everything. You could tell that there was a big difference based on the draft in how comfortable Diamond Hands felt in general with their Medivh composition. Having so much displacement on the side of Chili Mountain, it really felt like the whole early game was just all eyes on Azerite on the Stitches and Make on the Junkrat, with just constant displacement. Even Copen having the displacement. It was almost across the board displacement, which is a good counter to Medivh, but as the game progresses, level 16 is really where Diamond Hands gets their power spike. And we saw that because immediately, as soon as they hit level 16, they do win the fight. They get a 3-for-1, I believe, because someone gets knocked over the wall by Junkrat. And that was kind of the moment where Diamond Hands starts taking control back in the game. And I've talked a bit about the gem economy on this map and how the objective is a lot different than other maps. Chili Mountain did get 2 turn-ins, but all they got was top and bottom fort for it. And that's realistically just not enough of an advantage when you're going up against a comp like this that has almost no wave clear at all. On Tomb, you almost need like a 2-level leader and at least all 3 forts down if you're going to want to be able to beat this comp into the late game, because they scale extremely well. Level 16, you have the permanent ley lines from Gotfilth, because it's against 3 big just melee characters that it's very easy to stack those Qs and get the cooldown reduction on your ley line. So post level 16, the game just completely changes for Diamond Hands. They get their first turn in after getting that 3-for-1 fight mid, and after a lot of A-ramming, it felt like for almost 2 levels mid, they finally start breaking the game open with those turn-ins. And yeah, Gotfilth on the Medivh kind of popping off. The early game, I think part of the reason why it was so hard for Diamond Hands is Stitches, normally you would want to have your Medivh just floating above his head to just scout him and give vision, but you weren't able to do that because the wave clear was so bad on the comp of Diamond Hands that Medivh actually had to just clear minions, which you obviously don't want that on Medivh. But that was part of the reason why Azerite got so much value in the early game. And yeah, just late game, all Diamond Hands. They just play with the Medivh really, really well. You could hear it in the comms too. They're really coordinated with that Medivh.
Well, speaking of Gotfilth and singing his praises, I do believe we have Gotfilth on the line to ask him about his Medivh play as well as this matchup. Gotfilth, can you hear me, my friend?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Congratulations on your victory versus Chili Mountain, the last game of HeroesCCL round robin or group stage. How are you feeling at the end of all of this?
Pretty good. I think we secured 4th place, which is pretty decent. It's a little sad we lost the first game, so we didn't get the number 3 in the guaranteed playoff spot. But I mean, it's better than losing, at least.
That is. Yeah, there you go. There's the positive that I always like to hear from players. But Justin, any questions for Gotfilth?
Yeah, how did you guys prepare for this series in particular? Because it's obviously really important for your standings. As you said, you do get 4th place from your win, but not the 3-0 for the 3rd place, but still good getting that 4th place. That means you're going to be at the top of the gauntlet. How do you prepare for a Chili Mountain that seems sort of unpreparable for with all their roster changes that they're doing?
I mean, yeah, it was really hard to prepare for them, especially since the patch was so recent. Last week games we couldn't even look at to get an example of how they like to draft, because last week they weren't prioritizing Joanna or Rhaegar at all. But that was so recent to the patch that we assume that's probably going to change this week because those heroes are busted. But we pretty much had no idea what they were going to be trying to draft. We just had to guess and pick what we thought we were good with.
I mean, you definitely did really good on that Volskaya Foundry game, and this Tomb game looked fairly dominant. Grubby, any questions for Gotfilth?
Yeah, hey Gotfilth, now that you've got your send-off in 4th place, you were going to get 6th, 4th, or 3rd, so you've got the middle result. Now that you've got your send-off and you've got your holidays, and you'll probably all take some time off, you guys will get back together and scrim for the playoffs. And although you won't get to choose who you face, you'll meet the winner of Chili Mountain versus Granite, then Storm, then Oxygen. Any team, any way you hope that would go, any team that you're looking to avoid or prefer to face, Oxygen being quote-unquote the most likely, as they're the nearest. You had a very close game against them with a 2-3 defeat. Any wishes there?
I'd probably want to play Oxygen the most, just because they reverse swept us the last time we played against them. And I also really like the players on that team, so if there's a team we're going to lose against, it'd probably be them.
Well, that's extremely humble, and I'm excited to see if that's actually the lineup for that matchup as well. But it was a really fun series. Congratulations on your 3-1 victory. Before I let you run out of here, are there any shouts that you'd like to give? The floor is all yours.
Shout out to the team. Shout out to our manager Chris, or manager Key, and the owner Chris. Shout out to you guys for casting, and shout out to twitch.tv/freepx.
As always. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Godfield. Have a great holiday. Have a great New Year's, and we'll see you in a few weeks on January 9th, I believe, actually, because that'd be the day that you'd be playing. So good luck in your scrims, good luck in your practice, and we'll see you in the Nexus, my friend.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us. A lot of great games today. A lot of really good games, a lot of really good moments, but the moments that we have to talk about are the moments that are considered powerful plays, Justing, almost like some sort of wisdom power play of the day?
Yeah, the wisdom, one of a kind, nothing like it, play of the day, powered by wisdom.
Ooh.
And we can go ahead and get right into it. It's on Volskaya, and it's Diamond Hands. So the clip begins with Godfilth getting targeted with the Entomb. He really well protects right before, as Valmar over the wall hits the puddle. Now watch Kelsier, he gets really far up just to follow up, immediately gets pulled out, but look at how low he is. Watch Medivh, he just hardly gets over, the ice block buys time, and then he gets into the robot with no HP at all, as Nintori gets that follow-up with the jet propulsion onto the cage coming out from the Zool. And now this was just kind of funny. This was kind of the icing on top for me for the play. They're kind of just playing like back and forth, and here comes the big lunge from the robot coming around to get in range of Azerite. But really cool to see how Zool was able to get out of the robot at the exact time they used the ice block to buy time to get Medivh in range to get the protect, and the little 1 HP 1 HP Nazevo just hardly manages to get into the safety of the robot, using the robot in a cool and unique way there in that clip.
Seriously, it was really, really fun, and thank you so much for breaking down our super amazing, super duper power play of the day, sponsored by Wisdom. But either way, what we can take a look at, Grubby, is one of my favorite things for you to break down is the standings, because we have a lot of shifted stuff, but these are the final standings of the group stage of HeroesCCL Season 3.
30K looking at a first place right here, and not just that, but with several map score advantages. They've got 9 maps more won than Simplicity, and they are standing head and shoulders above the rest. They're going to be facing the winner of the Gauntlet. And we've got teams 4 to 8. They're going to be playing each other in the Gauntlet, starting at the bottom and working their way up to the top. Simplicity will be our playoffs match into Wildheart. Overall, we can see a very competitive league with this season lots of 4-3s. 2 teams kind of below the rest. They did show pretty cool games, just not often enough, so they don't have the consistency. But Granite and Chili also played a lot of good games. Overall, though, it looks extremely competitive, and it's going to be hard to tell who is going to be coming up from the Gauntlet to claim a guaranteed top 4 spot. Oxygen has 1 map score differential more than Storm, but Storm happened to win their last 3 consecutive best of 5s in the league, so they're a late bloomer this season. As we can see here, the playoff bracket starts with our bottom 2 teams into Storm, who, like I said, won their last 3. Oxygen has a rival score to Storm, but has had a more up and down record in general, having a longer term consistency but less momentum recently. And the winner of all of that together faces Diamond Hands for that guaranteed top 4 spot. The loser of that final Gauntlet match will get a rank 5 position in the league. The winner of the Gauntlet faces 30K.
So it could either be Diamond Hands in that round 5, or it could be whoever, you know, as Justin has said, the creature that is formed throughout the Gauntlet could be what the members of 30K go up against. But this will be the double elimination bracket, which will be a little bit later. Just to give you guys all some dates, because we are going on a holiday break soon. The upcoming weekend and the follow for Christmas holiday and New Year's holiday. The ladder, the Gauntlet, as Grubby and all of us have been calling it, the placing of 8th through 4th, that is on January 8th and 9th of 2022. We get into our double elimination top 4 bracket, which is the second screen you saw right there. That's on January 15th, 16th, and the 22nd. The 22nd is the lower bracket final and the grand finals. So we have 3 more amazing weekends of HeroesCCL coming back at you on January 8th, 9th, 15th, 16th, and 22nd. So mark your calendars, because it has been an amazing group stage. And as I say, it has been an amazing group stage. Here we are right at the end. We're going on to a little bit of a break for a couple of weeks. But before we do all that, I want to get both of your thoughts. And it can be from the whole group stage. It can be from today, from this weekend. I just want to get your thoughts, starting with Justin.
So it's nice to see a lot of the teams kind of ramping up as the season progresses, especially Chili Mountain and Granite Gaming, teams that look really out of the running at the start. They're starting to make a little bit of a comeback, especially Granite, I'd say. And Chili Mountain, they have a lot of time now to prepare with their new roster. And Storm Esports, well, they are in 6th place in the gauntlet. They're a team that they've taken games off, or they've taken series off of 30K. They're the only team to do that. They've taken series off of Simplicity, the 2nd place team. Their wins aren't against weak opponents only. They've got strong opponents under them. So
Yeah.
Storm Esports, for me, is the team that is really scaling as the season progresses into a point where I'd be a little bit worried to have to face them in the gauntlet. And 30K just looks completely dominant. They really look like they're going to be the final boss of the entire tournament, in my opinion. They just look so strong, especially today up against Simplicity. And even Wildheart scaling as the season progresses, Diamond Hands as well. Just a lot of teams looking really scary that maybe weren't doing as great at the start, and it's cool to see those teams scale up. And we've got quite a bit of time, so it'll be interesting to see how they can grow between now and the playoffs.
It is. There's so much growth throughout the 7 weeks of group stage. And any thoughts from you, Grubby? Same kind of question from today, the whole group stage, or even just this weekend?
It looks like this season we've had the kind of the lowest performing team in terms of score and the highest performing team. So there is a bit of contrast, but we also see the tightest back together in that 4-3 position with 4 teams all having that score. So we have a lot of uniques. I think it's also the season with the most reverse sweeps.
Yes.
We have Diamond Hands to thank for for many of those. It's also the first season with more than one Probius pick, or any, I believe.
You know what it also is? It's the first season without a single showbell.
Oh.
There's still time.
No, there isn't, Justin. No, there isn't. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me like this. Okay, no copium.
They're saving it for last. But yeah, we've seen Probius, we've seen Nova this season. Lots of different off-meta picks. Nazebo Zul, I think we've been spoiled for content in CCL, and I'm so looking forward to the post-holiday break where we can pick it up with the playoffs.
Yeah, we will be off for a couple weeks, as I've mentioned a couple times. I keep mentioning just because I don't want people to come in next week and be like, "Where's CCL?" It's like we're going on. We're going. Yeah, of course, yeah. I'll probably be there as well. Actually, knowing myself, but either way, we are going to be on a couple week break. We'll see you all in the new year. From Grubby, Justin, I from the Wisdom family. Thank you all so much for watching HeroesCCL. Thank you for being part of this community. Thank you for donating, pushing to over $10,000 for this prize pool. Really do appreciate it. It has been a phenomenal group stage, and we're not done with CCL just yet. We'll be back in the new year on January 8th and 9th for that playoff ladder. Until then, from all of us here at Wisdom, we wish you a happy holiday, a happy new year. Have fun in your have fun in your Storm League games, and we'll see you in the Nexus. Have a great night. Have a great 2021.